All right, welcome in, chat. The Rem and Sam pod is live on a rare Wednesday night edition. If you guys look back, you'll notice that there is no Tuesday night stream on the feed. It's not for a lack of trying, people. Shout out to those of you guys that were with us last night, of course, recapping some, or, watching some pretty fun NBA action. And we had the Tyrese Halliburton versus the Cavs game 2. Tyrese Halliburton at the end of the game once again with another clutch shot. The Pacers once again with a little bit of a, it's tough to say what a comeback is, pause, because is it like, I guess, and there's multiple versions of it, obviously, but in just like the base definition of it, if you're down by, again, that 7 with 40-ish seconds left range, it is a version of that. It's just more of, they're kind of right there and just like struck, and then, I'm thinking more double digits on the whatever. But again, they close a short lead by the Cavs there at the end of the game, and they get the win in game 2. But unfortunately, we got a little experimental with some film room segment type stuff that we were doing. We wanted to see if we were testing the limits of the YouTube copyright stuff, and I thought what would end up we misplayed it, chat. I thought that I thought they would copyright strike us for sure. We get the warning, and then they would just like cut the feed off at some point, and they would leave the live stream up until that point of the feed. But no, chat, they just terminated the whole live stream. So you're like, we'll just be back again for tonight's. And maybe we should be live anyways for tonight, because of course, this is a rematch of Monday's game twos for the other set of conference semifinals games. We've got right now at halftime, Knicks at the Celtics, and then a little bit later, of course, we've got Denver at Oklahoma City. And we should have been, we had Sunday, we tripped on a cable and cut the feed in 2 parts, and Tuesday we got copyright striked. Who knows what's going to happen tonight, chat? But of all these nights, we probably should have been live Monday night, because 2 insane matchups between the 2 teams that are playing tonight. Obviously, New York with but that's an actual, pause, but that's like an actual comeback win in the games. And then, again, Denver against Oklahoma City, more in line with that. More in line with what we've seen with the Pacers against the Cavs in those last couple of games. And I guess the Pacers did make a 20-point deficit in this game too. I guess I'm thinking more Pacers Bucks in the first round when they had that 7 versus 42nd in the whatever. I forget exactly which game that was. Was that game 1? Or is that just one of the games that you remember? I don't remember which one it is, chat. But second half, okay, now we're underway here on the Sling TV stream. And Brooklyn chat, the Knicks are down by 9 right now. So I don't remember exactly what the halftime deficit was for the last game, but it was the third quarter where Boston really pushed the lead quite a bit. And then by the end of the third quarter, the Knicks have started to work their way back a little bit. So the third quarter was a roller coaster in that game. And Boston did so that was the second quarter maybe in this game. Boston did push the lead a little bit as well too. I guess, some of the early scores, it was like 16-4 at one point. So you're like, oh, wait, it's, getting out of hand. But then they go, oh, wait, it's a 12-point game. It's still kind of right in that range there. So, one shot away from a 9-point game. But, and then, of course, like we were saying, Jokic as well, too. Again, Shea in game 2 is going to be really, really exciting, chat. And a lot of random stuff to get to as well. It was Anunoby hit his first shot of the game, hit that 3-pointer, chat. Hasn't been able to convert since. Towns, though, has, double-double basically in the first half. Has been cooking in this one. So, Boston hadn't been hitting the 3-pointer great. What did they finish the half with, chat? Yeah, 27.5%. But, again, their defense and just New York's kind of offense, and maybe just the Brunson piece of it. Like, as much as we want to say that, the Knicks, like, they're too reliant on Brunson. Brunson can't be this. I guess, in a game like that against Boston, you start seeing it at what level you're like, okay, can it be? But, and again, we don't really doubt Brunson, but it's just, to what level do you want to rely on any one single player to carry you in the playoffs, to what degree? But in a game like this, where you're getting good performances from Hart and Towns, and maybe not like Anunoby's best game, and I guess Bridges is basically negating, between Bridges and Brunson, they're kind of negating everything else that is going on. But, and I know Bridges and Brunson, it's kind of not a weird fit between those two, but that's always been kind of the contrasting players in the team, where it kind of feels like the segments of the team are that, chat, where Towns, Hart, and Anunoby, kind of that, those three guys, and then Brunson and Bridges when they kind of go into their attacking stuff. But Towns right now just one-on-one versus Jaylen Brown in the post, not able to get anything going there. Oh, Derek White open for three. Is it just a sell? Is it? They're just cold for three right now, chat. So hopefully that's not the series. Hopefully that's not, home court. Do we need to double check what the Boston home and away, splits were? Maybe we need to do that for Cleveland as well too, chat, because they're down 0-2. I want to, here, actually, before we get to that, let me real quick get that second half fired up again, because I wanted to run that back again, chat. That's another thing we did last night on the live stream, the lost tapes, chat. We've just got a random recording now of us just watching tape of a Shedeur Sanders Baylor game. And, I was thinking about, okay, now do we just, re-upload that and, as just, a Shedeur Sanders? But then it's okay, well, no, they're just going to copyright strike that part again. It doesn't matter if it's going to be a post or a live stream. I guess we could try. It'll just claim it before we actually post it, right? So it won't give us a strike for that. We might try that, chat. We need to live workshop the idea on the pod, but yeah, we were watching the live game and the rerun of we were watching the rerun of this Boston's Knicks game last night, because that was the game the night before, and now last night's game is Pacers versus Cavs. So if you guys are keeping track of the schedule, just know that on the main TV we've got, of course, the game, and we will be rewatching some of this Cavs-Pacers game on the side TV as well too. Of course, just to see what happened in this comeback performance in the second half, to witness another awesome Tyrese Halliburton performance as well is always fun. And Mitchell was great in this game. Mitchell had 48, so just an instant classic, chat. Running it back right away. But, okay, this one, was 10 points at halftime. I don't remember exactly. Were they down 15 in the first half? Down 20. So 11 going into half, because Halliburton not able to really get a handle on that last pass. So, yeah, that we'll cut to the second half real quick. But anyways, chat, for the Boston Celtics real quick for this year, because I feel like there was, I guess, for a 61-win team, you're probably going to have pretty good home and road splits either way. Even if you lose it, I guess, what's the record for home wins? But, you can only win 42 games. So did the Celtics actually go 42-0 in the regular season one year? And then I know San Antonio had a crazy regular season home record at one point, and I think we also had a home streak as well too across a couple of seasons, but not within one season. But either way, chat, for this actual year itself, 33-8 on the road, 28-13 at home. So barely a couple more wins on the road. A little bit better more 3-point attempts. Okay, wait, that's not the percentage, chat. Where's the percentages at? Here we go. No, still no percentages. Field goal percentage. Here we go. 3-point percentage. 46-45. So a little bit better at home. The percentage is actually a little bit better at home, but the defense better on the road, chat. Yeah, just by a smidge. And it's really just the 3-point defense. Again, you see the field goal percentage for opponents on the road is basically the same. And they're giving up, just under 2 points per game less on the road. So it's all, it's pretty consistent. Again, even in the wins losses, it's still pretty close for what they're able to do. But, barely turned the results barely went in their favor on the road this year compared to the home stats. So even more turnovers on the road as well too, chat. Forced a couple of more turnovers and more fouls as well too. But so then going to New York, I mean, you're not I guess New York, of course, is one of the places where home court advantage. That is a pretty intense arena, chat. But so is Boston. So I think both of these teams are, of course, well equipped to be on the road. And they're just showing the line as well, too, in the game. Boston was a 10.5-point favorite to open the game. They're an 11.5-point favorite to start the games, or right now, a little bit into the second half. So 10 points right now. But this doesn't feel too dissimilar from where we're at last time, because what is the margin of score that you would want to be like, now we're good, now we don't have to worry about the Brunson factor at the end of games where he could just take over? And I guess, who knows the score, chat? Could Brunson just randomly score 20 straight points in a fourth quarter, I guess. But if it's in that 8 to 10 point range with, again, like maybe 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you're still probably like, okay, Brunson can strike at any second here, hit a couple of shots, make a couple of plays. The Knicks are still in range. Even 12 points. At what point is, and not to put the game away, because now you're 15, 20 points with 2.5 minutes left. And with Boston, especially, with Boston as well too, chat, I feel like if we were looking at teams that gave up leads as well, like again, the win-loss thing this year, and maybe this year is not as aggressive as it's been in the past as well. I guess, and there's no real way to look up that stat, because we could look up just overall, I guess, the margin through the course of their games. But even if you end up winning a game by 15, like if the team closes a 20-point deficit at some point in that game, it's like, okay, you still didn't really hold them off the way that you would like. But then if you foot on the gas in the same sort of way, because that's definitely a thing that a trap that good teams will fall into in a course of the regular season as well, sort of letting a team get back into the game and like, okay, now we got to kick it back into gear. We got to go here, chat. Vrabel at the game. I was going to say, wait a second, Vrabel's coaching the Jets, but no, that's right, chat. They're in Boston. It's Vrabel to the Pats. Maybe it's the green and the Vrabel in green and white, chat. The Jets fans, they wished. But Aaron Glenn, you got to love Aaron Glenn as a candidate as well too. That Lions defense was, one of the, I guess we'd have to go back and look at the sets. It was obviously one of the better units in the league for sure. It was a really good unit, especially this last, and obviously when Hutch is out there as well too. It's a really, really good unit. But the sort of attacking, flying aroundness, if that's a thing, of their defense, like it maybe, and Dan Campbell as well too, an aggressive guy, chat. But the guys on his staff a little bit maybe sort of reflect that in a way. At least Aaron Glenn, it feels like Aaron Glenn could get his guys to play at that level of intensity as well too. But so could Vrabel, chat. So could Vrabel. So does Missoula need to, Anunoby! OG Anunoby with the poster on Derek White. We need to get sound on for this, chat. Are there no fouls? What's going on? Did they call a foul? Anunoby's, he did the point down signal, chat, like call it good. But are they going to give him with the charge? Is Derek White not in the restricted area? Oh, is he out of the circle, chat? Anunoby skying in. Wow. Chat. Derek White, yeah, he was out of the circle. There you go. I'd say from the one angle, it did look like it, but I didn't know if maybe a heel was touching the line or something. But no, they're gonna get Derek White on the charge. Let the highlight happen. What are we doing? Would you call Dominique on a charge there? You call it, and I get, we could throw out any legendary name. Would you call a top 50 player on a charge of all, a top 50 player of all time on a charge there? Who knows, chat? But give Anunoby some respect. The first Rodney Dangerfield drop of the night, chat. No respect for OG Anunoby. More respect for Derek White, apparently. More respect for the home team, I guess. And, the Knicks, let the Knicks get back in the game. What are we doing? The league doesn't want Boston to win this by 12, right? Maybe they want Boston to win it, but are they just like, Boston win this at all costs, I guess? They're more concerned about it. They probably get more revenue from a longer series than, a better game, right? Because how much of the game, you're not, for you watching the game is not really getting them money, right? It's sort of, once the game is set, like, doing these things in the halftime games. But imagine, chat. Imagine if the commissioner was just out there, just doing ad reads during the game. That would be crazy. That would be, and obviously, shout out the league is more advanced at this point. And I don't know if, I don't know if you guys have anything similar to this to the cities that you're in. I guess maybe we should look up how vast the Marcus Theaters franchise expands. But they're, of course, if you visit one of those theaters before the movies, they always run the pre-video thing before the movie starts of like the owner of the theater, and he's in all those like weird sketches. So, thankfully, like Adam Silver doesn't have to do like weird sketches to promote the league, or just again like the ad reads at get 20% off your what's like the meal service, chat, or like BetterHelp or something. Get 20% off BetterHelp, code NBA. Adam Silver just doing reads. That'd be crazy. But yeah, Boston once again in the third quarter pushing the lead again. Did they get to 20 in the last game, or was it in that high teen sort of range? But they're close here, chat. 18 again. And like we were saying in the lost tapes on Tuesday, the way that we expect the Celtics to win these games more so than like the Knicks winning a close game. Again, you take away the fact that there was a score that they were able to overcome at some point in that game. A lot of that fourth quarter was pretty close. The Knicks actually were able to jump out to a lead at one point in that fourth quarter. I think maybe like a 6 or 7 point lead. And again, of course, winning the game in overtime. But that was more by that fourth quarter, by crunch time and all that stuff, it was more of a close game type game than it was more of a battle type game than it was Knicks trying to frantically make a comeback down 20, closing the gap in the fourth quarter. Like again, by the time we got to big fourth quarter minutes, the gap had already been closed. But you get what we're saying, chat. They had already made the deficit up at that point. So if you're in a close game, again, with Brunson as a closer, it's not actually super surprising that the Knicks would win that type of game. The Celtics, I think, winning these type of games, though, does feel more like the type of games that they would win. And again, that's what we saw them have in Game 1. We saw them have that type of performance where they got out to the big lead. They just weren't able to maintain it. So it's like, I guess, again, are the Celtics going to be up by 20 against the Knicks every time? I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Like, they're that good of a team, and the matchup definitely bears out that way. But I expect them to win more games in this series like this with the bigger margin versus if it's a close game. And I'm not doubting Tatum and Brown in a close game, chat. Like, I expect them to be good performers, of course. But, and, were they awesome in closing Game 1? Not necessarily, but, again, that's just one game out of the course of a whole series. But even if they're playing well, like, all players at the peak of their powers in closing minutes, it's just Brunson's just that great of a player in these fourth quarter moments, that great of a one-on-one attacker. And really, again, like, him and Tatum, him and Brown, Brunson versus Brown as well too. Like, you can make conversations peak Brown versus a lot of, most great players in the NBA, of course, but peak Tatum versus peak Brunson, I think the thing that makes Brunson more, reliable, however you want to phrase it, in the fourth quarter and in some of these closing minutes, maybe just more, whatever word you want to use, like whatever makes him more in those moments, chat, like it's his ability to know the type of shots that he is, his ability to just get quality looks as well too, but his ability to know what type of shots he can hit well and get to those shots. And Tatum sometimes, of course, still at this point can find himself slipping back into the times where he's not necessarily getting to the, he'll just be settling for threes, and you necessarily like Brunson's always attacking the basket, chat, and even that shot that, is that really maybe what it comes down to? Brunson just can get looks at the hoop at the end of these games, and even that shot that he missed at the end of regulation, like it looked like it should have gone in, of course it spun out, but the actual look that he got, the driving little floater, like it's just, I mean, it's a real Brunson-esque shot. It doesn't feel like his settling, like Brunson, there's less settling in Brunson's game. And that, of course, has always been sort of the thing with and not even just, we're not necessarily singling out Tatum. It's sort of a Celtics thing. And I mean, they're taking 63s in game one, Chad. It's obviously the game plan for them to be focused on that element of the game. But for them to be that aggressive, and again, for them to lose focus on some of the advantages that they have in the other points by just settling for some of these other shots, is how the Knicks are able to, and how a team that can be focused on one player like the Knicks can actually benefit them in close games. And I think that was honestly probably the fear with them against the Mavericks last year in the finals as well too. Like, if we get in close game scenarios, Luka and Kyrie, everybody fully healthy, playing all that stuff, like both of those guys versus Tatum and Brown is an interesting 1-2 combination. It's just, this, can the Mavs hang with the Celtics for 40 or 38 minutes maybe, and then the last 10 minutes of the fourth, or last 6 to 8 minutes of the fourth, Kyrie and Luka just kind of take it home. And then really you start getting into a game 6, game 7 scenario, and it's not even the last whatever minutes of the fourth quarter. You just start going, okay, we're all Brunson, we're all whatever. I mean, and they're promoing the Nuggets Thunder right now. Like, the Nuggets are already in that phase right now. They're just like, it's all Jokic. We're in round 2, game 1. Jokic is putting up 40 and 20. It's all we can do to win these games. But, and I guess, we did talk about that yesterday as well, too. We could mention that again, lost files, Chad. But, yeah, I expect if the Celtics win games, I could see them again. We'll see how this one turns out. The Knicks, again, closing it a little bit in the fourth quarter wouldn't be too surprising, because maybe the Celtics have, again, given a lead like that a time or two in the past. Wait, did we lose the feed for Cavs versus Pacers? What happened? Oh, no, okay. Just a long break between the commercials. So they don't play the halftime entertainment for the playoff games, Chad. Or like the timeout entertainment. We said last night in the Lost Tapes that we were going to try to pay attention to that in the reruns, because that's one of the gems of the regular season League Pass experience, is you get to actually experience a lot of the in-arena stuff just on, however you're watching it on your screens. And not that it's necessarily the entertainment, the timeout entertainment is not the entertainment that we seek out all the time, but it is a fun part of the games if the game is going to be on anyways. And again, is it better than commercial? I'm not saying it's always better than every commercial. There's definitely some good commercials, for sure. When the writers are bringing it, when the Geico writers are bringing it, chat, like, they can put out some funny material, for sure. Oh, Porzingis with the tough three. So, yeah, now they've crossed the 20-point threshold with 3 minutes left in the third quarter here. And we'll see if they're able to, like we said, close this one out in a different way. Oh, Anunoby gets picked, driving to the basket, driving middle. Oh, Jaylen Brown loses it in transition, chat. What are his numbers on the night? He had another almost dunk. Okay, he's leading them in scoring. Tatum, 4 for 14, Tatum! He's got 9 points tonight, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Hey, Celtics up 20. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But that is a little like, okay, now what's happening with this series? It's happening again with Jason Tatum, chat. And he was so good. He was better this year than he was last year in the regular season. Definitely more, in a way, important to the Celtics team this year. I guess, taking on more responsibilities in the Celtics offense, even more so than he did last year. And, there's various reasons for that, but a lot of that as well, too, is just his game continues to elevate. Brunson, there's him settling a little bit for 3 over Jason Tatum at the end of the shot clock there, but end of the shot clock, maybe try to draw a foul on Tatum. He's only got 1 foul at this point in the game as well, too. Brunson, pull out some of your flopping moves against Jason Tatum and see if the league has any respect for Tatum as a star. McBride driving to the basket. Oh, yeah, wait a second. That cuts to 18, so probably explains the transition defense there. But Mazzulla, yelling at him to lock back in. We can't risk it. We just saw this in game 1. You got to close this game out at home. Go back to New York tied. I mean, you thought you could go back to New York up 2-0 probably. And then one of those games. Oh, Porzingis, is he going to get the offensive foul there? Yeah, Brunson getting in the lane, chat. Great job by Brunson. And I forget, here, we'll see when the Pacers actually start to make the climb back as well, too, in this rerun, because they are down. Jared Allen just swooping in for the dunk with just under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Puts the Cavs up 16, so the Pacers had cut it to 14 there But you're still in like, okay, Cavs dominating this type game at home. And again, the Pacers did manage to sort of claw it out at the end as well too. Like even different than the 20. I guess every game is a snowflake, chat, but even different than the 20-point deficit the Knicks were able to overcome in that game. If again they did have an actual 20-point deficit in that one, but the Knicks had a close game situation in that fourth quarter, whereas the Pacers were more closing it toward the end of the game and just like, whoa, well, all of a sudden the Pacers are going to win this one? What's happening, chat? But like we were saying in the lost tapes, this is also, like, of course, happening with the Nuggets, and they had that grinded out 7-game series against the Clippers, except for Game 7, where the Clippers didn't show up in the second and third quarters of that game. They had a kind of like steal the game sort of way to win all these games. And I was just wondering, like, if he is in the midst of in the midst, chat? Did I say that? Yeah, in the midst of a Mahomes type run this year, and maybe more like Mahomes this year or the last couple of years on the Chiefs, where again, as the team is sort of kind of retooled around him in different ways, chat, to put it lightly, they've definitely had to rely more on, and especially if you go through some of the regular season stuff, and like Mahomes hasn't necessarily been as perfect through the course of every game, and it's the way it is, chat. You want to hold him to the standard of the start that he had in his career. Like, he actually would be the best quarterback of all time if he had 7 seasons exactly like that first season or those first couple of seasons or whatever. But again, maybe he's not totally blameless in their ability to not get these close games, but that has been the formula. The formula has been, as long as the defense has been able to keep it close, Spags with the defense has the ability to keep it in these low-scoring games. And as long as it is a close game, regardless, I guess, of how it is, you trust Mahomes in a fourth-quarter situation to get the game closed out. And, of course, you trust Jokic in a fourth-quarter situation. It's obviously different, the dynamics of a fourth quarter in an NBA versus the fourth quarter of an NFL. But it just, the drives and the possessions and how it all works out. Like, if you're a one-possession game in the NFL, it's a lot different than one possession in the NBA, because it could be a one possession game for an entire fourth quarter. I mean, that'd be an awesome fourth quarter, instant classic. But a one possession game for an entire fourth quarter of an NFL game could obviously be like 2 actual, maybe 2.5 actual possessions of football. But either way, like, that and like we're saying, the formula has worked to the Chiefs. Obviously, they weren't able to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, speaking of Mahomes not playing well, he didn't play well in that game. The matchup was definitely a matchup that helped lead to a poor performance. Like, the Eagles pressured him and their defensive line depth. And, if that was a 7-game series, would every game go like that? Probably not. Could the Eagles still win in 7 games? Maybe, chat. But then it becomes, again, an NBA situation where now we're kind of trusting Mahomes in the course of, can he win a series the way that Jokic can win these series? And that can almost, Mahomes, again, like, Mahomes has benefited from the one-game elimination thing of it as well, too, where it's like, oh, man, we barely got away with that one. Like, whew, deep sigh of relief there that we were able to get that win. But that Eagles Super Bowl is obviously one where you're like, oh, can we get a 7-game series here and try to run this back? Or maybe not. They're like, yep, nope, we're not going to get a win on this team. We are good to go. Who knows what they would actually... And they're a competitive team, Chad. They would definitely want to run it back. But yeah, either way, I guess my point honestly being, like, because of the fact that the NFL is these one-game situations, like, when we have these superstar quarterbacks, obviously, and these superstar players, maybe you could feel a little bit more reliant on them to power through in these one-game scenarios. But for the NBA, obviously, it's been, sort of a better team wins in the course of the 7-game series. And the Nuggets Thunder is like a very seemingly great dynamic of that, where the Thunder are this great roster and the Nuggets are a team that are built around the one superstar. And of course, again, speaking of fourth quarters and stuff, like, if you're just, we can prop up the rosters the way we want, but the performances are what they are. And the Thunder aren't necessarily totally playing overall the roster the way they were in the regular season, obviously, in that game 1 fourth quarter. But still the team that we would give that team talent label. Obviously, and they have a star as well too, MVP level star in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But even in, if it's a star versus star situation, it's not a discredit to Shai to say that we would trust Jokic in that situation. More again, Jokic is him and Giannis are the two best players in the league, chat. But maybe that's a formula that can actually work in these playoffs for the Nuggets, and they can actually win a bunch of these. They can win a bunch of these playoff games and be competitive in these series in the fact that Jokic is just going to storm back in these fourth quarters and you just keep it close enough. Because, we can credit Brunson all we want, and we will, chat, for as great as he is at closing games if they're close. We'll see if he's closing this one if it's not close. But they have cut it to, cutting into the lead a little bit here, chat. So we'll see how this fourth quarter plays out. Bridges. If Bridges just hits a couple of shots in the fourth quarter, and because again, I think do we kind of expect Brunson to turn it around? Like, Brunson wasn't necessarily playing well I feel like his shooting number wasn't necessarily well in the first three quarters of that last game. And, even going back to that Pistons series, like, I'm thinking the fourth quarter of one of those, it was that closing game, chat, where Asar Thompson was just playing great defense on Brunson. Brunson was like 2 for 10 in that quarter, and then in the last possession, they needed him to get a bucket, get the win, and he just shakes Asar with a great crossover and gets a ton of space to get a great look and drains the shot. And it's like, again, in the Celtics, we needed to have a great fourth quarter, and he has a great whole fourth quarter. Against the Pistons, you didn't have a great moment. He has a great moment. Like, Brunson just delivered. That's why we trust him in these moments, like we were saying earlier. But, who delivers more than Jokic, chat? And who, if you're just talking on an individual, like, shot-to-shot basis, there's just not a more trusted shot maker in the NBA. Like, 'cause I trust Giannis as much in any of these situations, but still, I think we know what his looks are going to be, and that's not going to be a bad thing at all. Like, he's going to get to his spots, chat. Make no mistake. Good luck stopping Giannis getting to the rim, of course. Pause. But Jokic's ability to just become a 60, 70, and again, Giannis is going to be 60% because he's going to get his looks. But like, you even see in that Pacers game is a great example of just the 1% of why we can't necessarily, if we're doing the ranking, we kind of have to put Jokic and Giannis together and not necessarily Giannis over Jokic. But again, maybe you could do it the other way. I'm not saying that, I'm arguing aggressively to put Jokic over Giannis. I'm just saying that I don't think that I guess, we could say that Giannis is the best player. Who might, chat? Of course we could say that Giannis is the best player in the league. But I'm just saying, like, I guess in my gut, chat, like, I would still feel like it's more of a tier 1 than it is a clear 1-2 situation the one way. But it's because of that type of thing where Giannis getting that baseline fade. And to be honest, I mean, that if we pull that back up, it was a good enough look that I feel like it almost went in as well, too. Again, he makes a shot. It's just like, oh, Giannis, he can hit it. Look at this. He's hitting mid-range shots. Like, we'd be singing his praises the other way. But again, like, just kind of when he's taking the shot, you're like, okay, it's Giannis. I trust him, but I'm trusting him because it's Giannis, not because of the look that he's getting, if that makes sense. But Jokic, of course, you try to, I'm spinning in circles here trying to defend my guy. But you get what we're saying. Like, it's those type of looks where that 3 over Hartenstein versus Giannis's baseline shot against the Pacers is maybe why you would, nudge Jokic ahead of Giannis in those player conversations. And Giannis, use it as motivation when you're on the Spurs next year to hit baseline jumpers as game winners for us, of course. But, like, Jokic is just going to hit every shot in these fourth quarters, and there's going to be that range where you're just going to be totally terrified, and you're almost going to expect him to close it out in a way. Because, again, we don't... And that's where I was kind of tiptoeing around the idea as well, too, chat. Like, I still don't know if I can pick them to win the series, but I can't pick them to lose the series either, because, like I'm saying, in close games, I just trust Jokic to win close games. So, yes, I think, the math is not mathing, obviously, which is why we can't actually make a pick or make a bet. But if the games are close in the fourth quarters, it's an individual basis situation, like we're saying. If the games are close in each of the fourth quarters, then what do you know? Each fourth quarter, I'm going to trust Jokic. But just the idea of the matchups, of course, is going to favor the Thunder because of the depth that they can provide. So at least they're winning the the theoretical matchup, which is something. But yeah, Boston just strikes a couple of shots. New York hanging in that 14 to 15 point range, but it is fourth quarter time. And Tibbs, chat, with the minutes. Brunson and Towns both on the bench to start the fourth quarter as well. Maybe, I mean, they got to be getting up soon, chat. There's no way he goes 8 minutes when just doesn't play both those guys. But Horford, oh man, chat, they're falling apart without their star players. Horford got a basket underneath a layup shot and then was standing, of course, under the basket because of his layup. And the inbounder just threw the ball right to him. And he stole the inbound. I mean, there was chaos on the other end. They didn't really turn it into anything. And the Knicks turned it into a 3 on the other end. So Bridges now with 7 points to start the quarter. Like we said, it's just Bridges, it's all this, the star players, you're going to rely on them in close games. But Bridges, they need his perimeter making in these scenarios if they're, not going to want to have to just storm back in all of these games. They're going to need him to be a more consistent shot maker throughout the course of the games. Misses a 3 right there in transition, chat. Probably could have taken Horford off the dribble as well, too. I know, we don't want to doubt Horford's ability to move his feet, chat. He's, of course, a great defender. But it was one-on-one. Was there a defender that could have chased him down? The defense was making its way down the court, so I don't know. We'll get that on the tape. Do we go back and watch if it's a dead ball here? Pritchard at the end of the shot clock. Oh, he drains the 3. Pritchard is the definition of a dagger 3, chat. I mean, but it's like that role player guy that the teams have that swing momentum in that way. I mean, when the Spurs won the title, of course, we had Patty Mills. I think that was like that. Like, we had other great role players as well, too. Like, you think Boris Diaw is also is epitome the right way to use that word, chat? Like the epitome of a role player? I think so. That's like the best version. Oh, now I have to figure out how to spell epitome, chat. Jeez. Pit. Hey, me? Maybe? Epitome? We'll see, chat. It'll autocorrect. Antihistamine? What are we getting here? I don't think this is right. Chat, this is crazy. Okay. Oh, wait, is it this? Epitome. Okay, epitome. I got it. Yeah, the typical or ideal example. Yeah, chat. We got it. Epitome. So, like, the ideal example, so it'd be like Marissa Epitome. Do we use that word right, chat? Maybe? But, yeah, Boris Diaw is the the Marissa whatever, chat. He's the ideal example of a role player guy you want to have, of course, on a title team. Am I getting her name right as well, too, chat? Marissa Tomei. So Marissa Epitome. Marissa Epitome. Yeah, I think we got it right, chat. I think it's good to go. But Boris Diaw, also, a very suave, charming NBA player himself. Boris Diaw. If Boris Diaw was in an espresso bar with Marissa Tomei, chat, I think they'd be having a great conversation. But also a great, contributing player to a title team. Sean Livingston, chat. Robert Horry, I think, ascends into he's in a different tier. Like, he almost ascends into that Hall of Fame role level tier that we were talking about in the lost tapes last night. But like Boris Diaw is a little bit different than a Patty Mills because we were running more stuff through Boris Diaw. Like Boris Diaw was, again, like kind of controlling the offense when he was out there on the court. And not to say that Peyton Pritchard doesn't do that when he's out there. He's a point guard. He'll definitely have a ton of playmaking moments for the team. But you do funnel stuff through him in a way. But he is a little bit more of a Patty Mills kind of seeking his. There he goes, chat, with an air ball at the end of the shot clock there that time. But he is a little bit of a, seeking out his 3-point shot more so than, again, a guy like Boris Diaw is almost like, by the time he goes to San Antonio as well, too, in that title run, he's almost a full playmaking type player. Like, almost the, again, chat, the epitome of, like a pickup basketball player in an NBA game. Like, the ideal old man passing game. I get, Jokic has that as well. But again, like, Jokic is actually too good for that. Like, Jokic because that's the thing about, and maybe that pickup guy is almost sneaky a Jokic as well too, because there is a shot making thing with that guy where you're like, how can I not block any of this guy's shots? Like the thing with Jokic is he is a 7-footer, so I guess if that's the other thing about the pickup comp that we're making with Boris Diaw is there's a little bit of an unassuming factor with, and again Jokic has that as well too, but it's the unassuming to like the level of greatness to where you could have, I mean, you watch a game and it's not like you would have sit there and go, oh, Jokic looks like a useless basketball player, you know. I get there's some movement stuff with him, but, you know, you could see very quickly, you know, again, with how great he is. But a big center, you know, I mean, could Jokic, there's versions where he's like, you know, Vooch, Nikola Vucevic, you know, he's even more a little physically imposing than Vooch. I guess, like, you know, Zubats, his matchup round 1 against the Clippers, like, a worse version of Jokic could be like a Zubats maybe, or, you know, any type of, like a Boban chat, like even, you know, Boban. But, Boris Diaw, he is just, the way he was, and again, I think maybe the way we're saying that, I guess his pickup comp is the guy that's sort of all passing and maybe not the shot-making guy, where Boris Diaw definitely could step out and hit a 3 or spin around a guy in the post and hit a layup if you needed him to. Absolutely. Like, you know, he was good for, if you needed him to get 12 to 15, maybe even 17 in a game, like, you know, 17 maybe a little much for Boris Diaw at that point, but, you know, 12 to 15 in a game wouldn't be, I think would be pretty reasonable, but maybe ideally sort of like an 8 and 6 for Boris Diaw, or, again, like maybe a lot, if we're tracking hockey assists, like 3 or 4 hockey assists as well too, but like 6 actual assists, a couple of rebounds, a couple of points, hitting some clutch looks when they need him to, but just keeping the ball moving, whipping the ball behind his back, chat, just like funky little dribble moves and just all kind of fun stuff that he's doing out there. So, who were we comping to Boris Diaw? I don't even remember. Oh, Peyton Pritchard? We comp Peyton Pritchard to Boris Diaw, I guess, but maybe more so like a Patty Mills type character. Down 12, the Knicks, chat. So down 12 with 6.5. If they can close the double digits before, or if they can get it to 10 before 6, like the next couple of possessions, a stop and a score, I think we enter Brunson territory, chat. I think obviously 12 with 6.5, we're still in Brunson territory. I think the Celtics have unfortunately worked themselves back into that way, chat. But, and I guess the Knicks have been hanging with him here, for, you know, the last 2 quarters as well. It was really, you see just that first quarter that the Celtics got out to the strong start. And I assume the 3-point shooting hasn't necessarily gotten better. Still 27%, chat. Not great in that quarter. 39% as a team as well. So 8-11 from the free throw line. 5 for 7 from the free throw line for the Knicks. And they really, just haven't hit any 3-pointers either. It's really been more so the volume of the Celtics threes. I guess, you know, Missoula, he's like, this is why the math wins. You know, even if we're not making threes, we have a couple of more 3-point makes. And between that and a couple of free throws, like, it is kind of making up the difference at that point. But you see, again, from the field, like, the Knicks are still out shooting the Celtics. And Brunson is the one holding him back at this point as well. You know, like we're saying Bridges, but, you know, Brunson as well, too. Bridges has the 4 for 13s this season, Chad. It is what it is. He's just, I'm not saying we're locking him in for it. I'm just saying that he goes either way. It could be an either or with Bridges. I don't know if we're giving him the inconsistent label, but we'll just stick with the either or scenario for right now. And there is Shea, chat. Gilgeous Alexander, of course, the second promo for Nuggets versus Thunder, and that does remind me that, and I was going to mention this as well, too. I guess we just got sucked into the basketball. Hey, chat, pause. But we just got the basketball. It just wins the day, chat. It is what it is. But we were, of course, you know, you got to play a couple of songs, chat, pregame the live stream the right way. And apparently the shuffle, I don't know if it's the fact that, you know, we're just kind of off of the 1-year anniversaries of the Kendrick Drake beef, or it's the fact that we mentioned the bar where Drake said skim through it, because I think we were going to skim through that Shedeur Sanders Baylor game and watch some tape, chat. But apparently the Spotify shuffle thought we needed to listen to Family Matters, which again, like we've been saying, we've been listening to Drake has been more a YouTube artist this year for us than a Spotify artist. So it's not like the algorithm, and I guess it's always gonna play Drake, so it's not necessarily that either. It's probably just the years of listening to Drake. It's like, no, what are you talking about? The couple of months this year, you're not ready to drop Drake out of the rotation that easily, chat. And I get it, we're not dropping him out of the rotation. He's still listening to him over on YouTube. But but yeah, and what was the song? So the song we went to play was shout out Freddie Gibbs from the Sold Separately album. The intro song for that album, because that's a good hype song, chat. To hype you up, I guess. But we played that one and then just had the shuffle going after that. And apparently it thought Family Matters. It thought the run needed to be Freddie Gibbs to Family Matters to Public Enemy. So, and then some, I think, Wiz Khalifa song after that as well too. So make no mistake, chat, a lot of different artists in this playlist. But yeah, apparently that's the run that it needed. And then I think we ended up, the last song we played was some Freddie Gibbs song. Well, not some Freddie Gibbs song. It was off of the Bandana album. Shout out him, Madlib, of course, one of the great combos in history. One of the great, pause, two-man combos, but one of the, I guess, great duos just in history in general, in terms of, I guess, always going to be in terms of quality of product, I guess. But, whatever, and however you're judging it, just consistently delivering on whatever they're supposed to be, whatever they're trying to create. Just they always deliver. They're great albums, great songs, great stuff. So, is there a duo in the NBA right now more consistent than Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, chat? I guess there are duos. I guess like Draymond and Steph as a duo together have probably accomplished. They probably accomplished a little bit more than Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, because they got several titles. But again, it's not just those two guys as a duo as well too. They had Steph and Clay and other stuff. So I don't know, other producers on the projects and features. Does a feature on that Pinata track at the end of the Pinata album, does one of those count as like a Klay Thompson performance in the album? But in terms of a duo actively right now that we're like, okay, we trust them in a game, or we trust Freddie Gibbs and Madlib on the track versus like, obviously, Jokic and Murray, like Murray would be a big part of the trust factor for that between those two guys. So, sorry, not Murray. Obviously Jokic and Murray, obviously the duo, it's great because Murray's been great over the last couple of years. But even if Murray's not playing great, like the duo gets away with being great because Jokic can be great enough for the both of them. And, I guess if, Freddie Gibbs were to be like, okay, what are these bars on this track? Like, okay, the Madlib beat is still cool, or, vice versa. But again, it's more of a vice versa performance. Whereas if Jokic played a bad game, I guess, Murray could definitely play a game where he carried him to a win, but it's just more reliant on Jokic than it is on Murray. So that's what I'm saying. Is there an actual duo? And Brown and Tatum might be actually the closest combination to that, chat. Where, and are Freddie Gibbs and Madlib the actual number one producer hip hop combo? I think because, like, obviously, Soundwave and Kendrick are up there as well. They're up there, chat. Yeah, right now probably number one in the power rankings, especially. But they've always kind of worked together, like, and I think especially now that Soundwave has, he's always branched out and worked on a ton of projects, but as he continues to work on more and more stuff with more high level people, and bringing in Antonov to work in the production team, I'm sure was like, okay, now we're continuing to shine a light on the production. His name has always been known as a producer as well too, but just in a different, and I guess it's just a different career as well too versus a guy like him in Metro. So again, just known in different type of ways. Like, just because Soundwave doesn't have his own page on Spotify with a great streaming number doesn't mean that, again, the respect in the industry, the names of the fans and all that, like, people know, chat. But again, is that the type of duo that we're talking about? Like, it obviously is, but I'm just thinking for what I guess for the tiers of combinations. Like, again, Freddie Gibbs and Madlib aren't like an actual team together all the time. Like Freddie Gibbs is his own rapper and Madlib's his own producer, and they link together obviously for great projects, and they do it often. And pause, but they obviously make songs together a lot, and again, it's awesome when they do it. But it's more a collab. Again, it's more like, speaking of Metro, it's more the Future and Metro type thing where, and maybe Metro was a little sound wavy type stuff to Future in the beginning, with being a little bit more, again, like not necessarily the A-list guy next to him on the combo album, but more like, oh, who's the guy making beats for Future? Like, that's pretty cool. And I guess I wasn't as tapped into the conversation in 2015, like when DS2 was dropping. It was more just like, oh, here's more, Future. This is cool. But again, I know that I like wouldn't know exactly. I'd have to go back and like figure out what his name value was back then when those type of projects were in the works. But either way, what are we talking about? Two-man combo? Yeah, Brown and Tatum are, like I was saying, like the equality of, if we're putting Kendrick and Soundwave in their sort of own separate tier, just they elevate, I guess, above everybody else. Chat. The consistent quality between the two players might be Brown and Tatum. Chat. Like, I guess LeBron and Luka, of course, but they also just got together and have played half a season. So again, I'm not saying this is not a hot takes first take point, like to say that they haven't accomplished anything together. It's just they played half a season together. Like, they just haven't had time to make a run together at this point. Who knows how long the run will be. But yeah, what were we saying? Yeah, we were gonna make a rant about Family Matters, Chaz. I guess we just, it still gets lost in the shuffle even right away, chat. But not today. We said it popped onto the shuffle, and the thing that I did want to, that did strike me this time, because I was like, well, for research purposes, we're about to hit the live stream. Like, let's listen to it again and just see what's going on. Like, it's not like we don't remember Family Matters. Like, it's like lyrics for any song, chat. Like, once you know the lyrics, you know the lyrics. So even if it's like, right now, if you're like, okay, start dropping bars to Family Matters, I'd be like, I probably couldn't get through it. But if the beat was on, it's like, oh, wait a second, how do the words just pop back into my mind? But like, the song was playing again, and again, the thing that really struck me, and I was thinking about it, I guess in conjunction with the lawsuit as well too, which of course is not like a talking point at this point anymore, but because it's a legal proceeding, it's just going to be around for a while, and because it's not going to be dropped as well either, because it's going to continue to be a legal proceeding. Legal proceedings just take a while. But again, the conversation for the lawsuit was, a bunch of stuff, but just like the generalization of it was, how could a song, it was sort of the validity of a song like Not Like Us as, that massive A+ hit. And I guess, the reason, what struck me this time listening back to Family Matters and in correlation with that conversation is, of course, why Not Like Us is such a big hit, is because Family Matters is actually like a really great song. And obviously I think that's just, like the Drake people, it's like, hey, don't forget about Family Matters. Like, Family Matters is a pretty great song. And I guess, great song, like, we go through the genius annotations of everything. Like, I'm not saying the song, like the bars necessarily age well perfectly, but I guess the beat of it, and it's a pretty crazy song, chat. Like, the beat does go pretty crazy on that song. And, he's got the little, the intro sort of bars and the way just the beat kind of kicks in and stuff. Like, it's structured really well, and obviously the transitions are crazy throughout it. So again, like, if you're not necessarily paying attention to what the words are, like, the song itself is really good. But then I was like, oh man, that is obviously, if we just needed another confirmation of why Not Like Us is such a massive hit. But it wasn't even the ability of it to, again, be better than Family Matters. It was the ability of it, and there's, again, bar for bar reasons for it as well, but the ability of it just as a hit song to completely wash away Family Matters like that is just absolutely crazy, chat. Because again, like, listening back to it, it's like, man, this is like, it's tough that this beat is just going to be lost on this song, and you can definitely see what he's going for there as well too, with some of the, and maybe obviously he maybe is trying a little bit too much in one song. Like, are we going to be playing a 7-minute song in the club? You're like, okay, here's the club song, here are the bars, here's the rapping performance. Like, I can see the way that he's structuring it here. Obviously, maybe just because the game plan isn't right, you got to go out and actually hit the Celtics just because they want to take the 3-pointers. You got to do better than 25%, chat. And guess what? The Knicks now have the lead on ESPN. They don't quite have the lead yet on Sling TV. Are we going to have to turn the ESPN feed off? We might have to, chat. We might have to because it's actually a little bit more ahead than usual at this time. It's about 30. It's a little bit more than 30 seconds ahead. So I don't know if we accidentally paused it at some point or like the Sling TV feed or what happened. But yeah, now the Knicks have the lead. Okay, so we got 2:25 left on the Sling TV feed. 85 to 86. I guess I just saw him with 85. Got both scores jumbled around in my mind right now. But Tatum on the baseline, fall away over Anunoby. Anunoby, great defense, great size. Staying right in front of Tatum, great pause the size. But no field goals for 6.5 minutes. Another just completely bombed fourth quarter by, careful chat. Another completely, no show fourth quarter. Not great efficient fourth quarter by the Boston Celtics. Is back-to-back games. It's that conversation that we were having of if these games can get close, do we trust Brunson in a close game? And I was thinking, do we trust Brunson if they both play well? But it's almost the Celtics just haven't been playing well either. So, I don't know what this means if the Knicks close this one out and we go to game 2. Like, the Celtics just no lead. It doesn't even matter at that point, I guess. But also the mental aspect of giving up 2 leads like that at home. What do you do, chat? What do you do? Brunson with Holiday. Holiday's locked in. He knows the moment. Bridges in. Derek White. Skrill. No! Not able to get it to go. He hit a killer 3 from the corner last time as well, too. That was like, oh, man, the Knicks are actually going to win this game, aren't they? I think that was in overtime and not the fourth quarter. Did I say the fourth quarter? I think I might have meant overtime. But good defense by Holiday there, staying with Brunson. I don't think they're going to show that possession. Yeah, that's Brunson with the little step back over Holiday there. But at least he gets the swing and then forces a tough 3 for Bridges in the corner. So Brown's going to ISO Brunson at the top of the top, trying to draw a foul. I feel like Jaylen Brown never draws a foul in that play. Why even try it? He's like, this is going to be the time. The refs will finally call it. Brunson swooping to the rim on Horford. He got the basket. The Knicks are up 3. It's a 21-2 run in the last 7.5 minutes, chat. 60 seconds. Tatum's going to... Now he can take a 3. They're down 3. He's like, well, coach, I needed to. Going to the rim, chat. Now Tatum drives. Now he draws the foul. Slow everything down. Get to the free throw line. A couple of looks, but does Horford have like 5 fouls? I don't even want to go to the ESPN chat. It's going to spoil it. He was playing like he didn't want to foul there, and obviously Horford is a good defender, so maybe he's like, I'm being technically sound, but Brunson was actually driving for contact, and Horford was like backing up, not even. So I guess, again, Horford doing the smart thing, not, Brunson trying to initiate the foul, I guess. But sometimes also, again, if you're verticality, sometimes the defender, it's like, you almost want that a little bit as well, too. Pause. To help block the shot, I think. To help almost balance and control everything as well, too. Like if you know where the offense, and not to say that you wouldn't know where he's at right in front of you, but just there is a difference to blocking the shot, I think, if you're making contact with the defender versus even if he's just a little bit, there's just a little bit of space there. But Tatum does have a double-double with the rebounds, 11 and 11. So, but no good luck in this game, apparently, for Tatum. Brunson for 3! Oh, maybe there's the good luck, chat. Brunson with a tough three-pointer. Weird bailout three-pointer by Brunson. Do we get a foul? We still haven't even turned the sound on for this game, chat. I'm telling you. There are probably very few people that just get randomly will just get lost in an NBA game. And just be like, wait a second. We're not even listening to Stan Van Gundy talk about the game? Our bad, Stan. Is he even on the call right now? I don't even know who's on the call, chat. We've had it on mute the whole time. It's fine. Turn it on sound for the last 24 seconds. I think it's perfect, chat. And, I mean, the Knicks Pacers rerun is winding down as well, too. 90 seconds left. So, I mean, is it even worth trying to do the double analysis and see what happens? But, yeah, the Cavs did have, 114 to 108. They did have a 6-point lead with 90 seconds here. Mitchell's going to have a second free throw. I'm assuming it's going to go to that 7-point lead. So I was seeing a stat as well, too, about, we saw the stat on the Bucks side of things about how teams with that type of lead hadn't necessarily given that up in those playoff scenarios. But from the Pacers side of things, I was seeing a stat now where it's like they've won 2 games in this type of situation where teams haven't necessarily. Well, I guess it's, like we're saying, it's the reverse of the stat. But still, for them to have accomplished it twice in this playoff run is pretty crazy. And maybe with the way these games are shaping up, chat, maybe this is just we need to look at the play. Like, that's, sometimes you don't want to be too in the moment with stuff, but it's when you're watching this stuff, you got to be honest with what you're watching on the court as well too. And maybe I guess, is it a time to be honest, chat? I don't know, but is these playoffs just going to be these games where these teams that are able to claw and scrap these ugly games are able to win? Like, I would say, the best players, and not to say that like Halliburton isn't the best player in the series, but the way that Jokic is the best player in the series is a little bit more. And again, Halliburton can control the offense as well too as a playmaker, so it's a bad comparison. Obviously, Halliburton's a great player, but it's a different thing and Tatum driving to the hoop, chat, gets the dunk with 18 and a half seconds left. So now the Celtics are back up 1. Woo, this could be a nail biter here. Boston, they need to get this one, chat. Man, Tatum, this is about as, we can't put too much pressure on it because he did just win a title as well too, but it's that, there is an extra pressure cooker. It's like a separate pressure cooker that you're in after you win the title. Obviously, you get that he can't be a champion sort of thing off your back when you actually win one. But, Tatum also, he's in that Steph Curry lane of he didn't win that initial finals MVP, so he's going to have that thing hanging over him. But again, there is that just different pressure cooker of like, okay, now you're a champ. And it becomes also as well too, like we've said with Giannis and Jokic, who are you battling? Are you battling the guys in the league and your standing of players in the league versus, we know Jokic and Giannis are the 2 best players in the league. They're not battling that anymore. They're top 20 players of all time. They're battling these legendary stars and adding to their legacy. Like, Tatum is still, I think, a little game-to-game-ish. Like we're saying, Giannis and Jokic are obviously in a tier of them all, but Tatum, I think, is obviously in that conversation. You could have him third. You could have Tatum third for guys you just want to have in a game or a series or a season or whatever the scenario is. Like, you could have Tatum third on that list. And I don't think it's totally crazy. Like, I'm trying to think, am I missing an obvious one? Like, for the seasons, if we're doing the MVP voting and stuff like that, Shea would probably be right up on top of the list. Ant Edwards, Wembanyama for building teams going forward are definitely going to be up there as well too. You start working contract stuff in there. You're like, oh, Cade's contract versus, even Tatum is still a couple levels above Cade offensively at this point. You would assume, chat, as long as Tatum is not settling for threes, but he has attacked the basket here at the last couple of games. So Brunson, he gets the foul on Holiday. 12.7 seconds left, so the Celtics are going to get a look, which, again, in turns could mean that they could draw a foul as well too. The refs will blow a whistle at any point, chat, pause. But gets Holiday spinning around. Holiday getting a little too aggressive going for the steal there, chat. Maybe just play some defense, but still just getting spun around, and Brunson getting to the free throw line. Don't pull it, chat! There we go, chat. Gets the first one to go. So at least we're tied. At least overtime. At least the Knicks have forced overtime. Brunson now was 6 for 19 from the field. So what is he like? 3 for 6. Yeah, I mean, like what, 3 for 6 in this quarter? So a little bit better. But like we said, fourth quarters, even if he's not playing well or for stretches of those fourth quarters, he can have the shots and the moments and the runs. He can have the runs, chat? Hey, yo. But he can have the scoring stretches that you need him to have as a player. So 1-point lead. Tatum with the ball. Celtics do have a timeout. Don't settle for 3. Tatum's got Mitchell Robinson on him. He loses the handle. He fades away. The Knicks double, and they're going to get game 2. Chat, Tatum loses the handle. Mitchell Robinson, he pulls a Kevin Love. He stays with Tatum on the perimeter, chat. Wow. Teams that win the first 2 games in the best 7-0 win 85% of the time, chat. Whoa! And especially on the road. So the Knicks only have to get 1 game at home to be up 3-1 on the series. Chat, the back-to-back champions are in trouble. Or I guess the champions going back-to-back. The champions going for the back-to-back run are in trouble. That's why Mike Breen's the professional, chat. Because he can make all the big statements and be like, wait a second, that's not right. But Tatum tried to pass it out to Brown, who was open for three if he was able to make the pass. So Tatum still with a decent look, even at the end of the game. But, and is that Bridges stealing the ball from Brown at the end of game one? And it was Bridges who doubled that forced the turnover on Tatum at the end of this game here. But it was also Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson, like we're saying, that stuck with him there on the perimeter. Did he get switched out for Anunoby? Can we get a rerun on that, chat? Can we run it back? The remote's not going to work. It's going to signal to both TVs. We're going to have to go. We're going to have to go Wi-Fi remote here, chat. Let's run that back and see what happened. We're going to have a couple of minutes before we get to Nuggets Thunder. I think yeah. We're still before the start time of that game even, so we should be good to go to get a replay, chat. See, okay, as long as the film room session is not on screen, it will be okay. So now we can go back to the score, chat. Now we can go back because we know the final score. Towns ended up with 21. Josh Hart with 23. Just sneaky great performances to start these games. Really a classic series, chat. Unfortunately for the Celtics, classic games that are going to be painful for them to rewatch. Yeah, Robinson, and then Anunoby was on Horford around the basket. So Anunoby, I mean, we've talked about him playing that center spot before, and I was going to say you wouldn't necessarily consider him the shot blocker that Mitchell Robinson is, but again, you would, what kind of statement even is that? Because you would consider Anunoby just a better defender in general, and he sneaky does have the size of a guy like Mitchell Robinson. Jeff, pause! But he's not so far off from being a center like we've seen him guard Embiid in the past in playoff series. So you just think, again, Tatum driving to the basket, seeing Anunoby, like, that is still a presence there. And Bridges, yeah, definitely was there to make, great play by Bridges, but Tatum also kind of just dribbled into him as well, too. Brown was in the corner. Brown, I guess Bridges, yeah, it's just a great play by Bridges because also with the clock running down as well, too, you can risk that double a little bit more. It's a great double because it's that baseline trap. So, if you're forcing a turnover with 6 minutes left in the second quarter, it's still a great play. But I guess just the concept of like, oh, I'm going to leave Jaylen Brown as he wanders over for three. But then again, it's like he's kind of dribbling right into the double as well, too. So really, you probably should have just, gone up at the basket there. Even with, as much as Anunoby might be a terrifying shot blocker, chat. You probably should still have gone up for the shot at the hoop there. Chat, we should go back and just see it one more time to see exactly what we were looking at there. Brunson just once again, he's like stunned. Like, how am I talking to Ali LaForce at the end of the game again? Didn't expect that to be happening. But yeah, 12.7 seconds left. All Tatum. So we can't get playback speed here. Oh, can we adjust the playback speed on the Sling TV? How quickly will NBA upload this to the YouTube page, chat? Probably pretty fast. Like, we could probably watch this on the YouTube there shortly. But they had Horford to set a screen at the top. So, like we're saying, Mitchell Robinson on Horford, Anunoby to guard Tatum initially. But then this switch. But Horford doesn't really set a screen as well. But Robinson plays up on that. Now, like, Robinson just played good defense there, staying with Tatum off of the switch. But Horford kind of diving around to the basket as well, too. And Derek White was under the basket when the possession started, so he wanders out to the corner for three. Josh Hart, he's not really out there for three, so maybe Derek White could have sunk to the corner a little bit more, maybe. And then that could have opened up the lane a little bit more for Horford to roll a little bit more away from the basket. Or, a little bit more away from where the Tatum driving lane ended up going. I wish we had it on the screen, chat. So then you guys can see if we're talking crazy here. Because, we got to figure out how exactly the Celtics didn't score here outside of the fact that, again, Bridges just made a great play. But, yeah, if Tatum is not going to take the looks, then, what can the film say? And really, again, it's not that he didn't take the look. It's that on that behind the back, like we're saying, he kind of lost the dribble there. So that really allows Robinson as well, too, more so to just stay in front of him because he does have a lane. So he would be driving into Anunoby. But either way, if he drives there, like, again, Derek White is still not in the corner enough to where Hart would be able to at least have doubled Horford. So now if, you pass into Horford and he's getting a shot over the top of Josh Hart, like that's a pretty good look as well to a center like Horford over a guard is a good matchup, but at least there's still a defender there. So, it's not like pick on Derek White time, but, with Jaylen Brown in the opposite corner as well too and Drew Holiday on the wing, if you're just going to run the Horford Tatum 2-man game at the top of the key and let Tatum drive to the basket, I don't know if there's a ton else they could have done. I guess, and the problem is, Brown's probably going to stay in the corner anyways because if he moves to the top of the key, like Tatum might just be thinking that Brown's going to be in that corner the whole time. So the minute kind of Brown goes out of the eyesight of Tatum in a way, maybe Brown feels like, well, he starts to move either way, Chad. He kind of starts to go up once. But at that point, you can kind of see Tatum is going to spin back into that spot. So he's like, oh, I got to get out of here because Bridges is right there. Because if Brown moves up to the wing as Tatum drives, like he still can kind of bring Bridges into the drive. So maybe, honestly, you put... Because I guess you're not necessarily out of a timeout in this situation, but maybe you need a way to end up with Derek White on the solo. But you probably want it to be a 3-man game between those two guys as well too. So you want Brown to have some space to create if he needs to have a chance to attack. Because again, you're attacking with 12 seconds. Like maybe you think that you can get a little. Tatum's making that pass. Like you want Brown to have space for him to operate if he needs it. But maybe you want Derek White on that side as well, too, as just a little bit more consistent 3-point shooter. I guess in this game, what were they? I guess not great in general, like anybody. But Derek White, once again, 3 for 11, chat. So what is this in the last 2 games? He's like, what was he, 5 for... Was he 5 for 16 in the last game? Or was that just another random game we were looking at? But I think that was the last game that he was 5 for 16. So he is now 8 for... 37 and a half. Like, I don't, chat, this is a tough run by Derek White is basically the Timberwolves 3-point shooting number by himself at this point. Maybe you sub Pritchard back into the game. Jaylen Brown 2 for 7, so it doesn't really matter. Neither Holiday or Horford hit a 3 as well, so they were able to tone it back a little bit. They did only attempt 43 pointers tonight instead of the 60 that they took in game 1. But let's actually watch it back in full here, chat, and see. So yeah, losing the dribble. Maybe Horford, and then just the Horford roll as well too, being a little bit more to one side of the hoop instead of just straight down the lane and being like, well, okay, he's gonna, Tatum's got to drive to the basket on one side. He's gonna have, I don't know, be plastered right in the middle of the lane there. But great play by Bridges, the double, the steal. Back-to-back games. Brunson once again in fourth quarters. The foul on Holiday at the end to get to the 3-point line. I don't even know if we need to go back and rewatch that Holiday possession as well too, chat, to see what happened there. But the Knicks actually, and we're not giving them the series win right now, but they've actually kind of put together the team to beat the Boston Celtics. Pause. Like, with the way the regular season's played out, obviously that did not look like it was going to be the case, or it looked like it was just going to be a much more difficult uphill climb for the Knicks. Maybe the gap between the two teams we thought was a little bit more than it was supposed to be going into the offseason. But when the season started, I think even so, like, obviously Giannis was the most feared individual player in the East, but I think, with all due respect to the rest of the guys on the roster, there was a definite, like, maybe this is one of the years where this continues to kind of turn the route that it's been going with this team. So I don't know if that team, and maybe if the NBA season was just playoffs, then maybe the Bucks do become a little bit more feared. But because you have to go through an 82 regular game season, you're like, Milwaukee's probably going to be a little banged up by the time we get there. So I don't know if they're going to be totally. They were as totally feared as a team, the way the Knicks were feared going into the season. And the Pacers are now like, or do we have to keep an eye on the Pacers? The Cavs, of course, over the course of the regular season, look like the team to beat as well, too, in the Eastern Conference. But, again, on paper, the roster sort of talent-to-talent matchup stuff that we were looking at, the five-man lineups that each of these Eastern Conference teams were going to throw out there, the two best five-man lineups, like we were saying, Giannis, of course, best player, but the two best five-man lineups, I think, in the Eastern Conference going into the season were Boston and the Knicks. And again, we're not saying this is an Eastern Conference Finals matchup with the Knicks now staring down a chance to win the Eastern Conference, but with those two teams matched up against each other, it was like, okay, the Knicks are the team now that are the closest to taking down the Eastern Conference champions, just looking at the talent on the teams. And now that we're actually playing the games in these minutes, the fourth quarters, the defense, the switchability, the intensity, chat, all of these things are lining up like the way the Knicks maybe thought it would when, and I guess the Towns trade, but maybe more so like the Anunoby and the Bridges pieces of it as well too. And the Towns piece was a piece, chat. Again, like, you're giving up Randall, of course, in a part of that, and there's the whole functionality for him and what this core was. But DiVincenzo, for the talent between him and Towns, is one thing. But again, you get into these 7-minute scenarios in the end of games, and it's like, okay, well, maybe I don't need an All-NBA player in the last 7 minutes of a fourth quarter. Can my guy just hit a couple of three-pointers and play some defense? And DiVincenzo can definitely get that done for you. So is there a reliability thing with that core and the Villanova guys and the energy that they were able to provide? Of course, they were also trading away with bringing in a guy like Towns as well too, Chad. But again, he kind of had a really good game tonight. I know that it's going to be a tough one to look for on the plus minus, because you would look at the box score and be like, oh, the Knicks bench kind of won them this game. Mitchell Robinson with a plus 19, but he was a good presence out there as well too. But Campaign and Miles McBride was pretty good as well. I guess Campaign only played 5 minutes. So the Knicks, they don't really even have a bench, to be honest. So it really even doesn't make sense. The math is mathing. It literally a statistically impossible game for somehow the Knicks only play for them to just play have a 5-man rotation. None of the 5 men to have a positive plus minus, but a 1-point game, Chad. Somehow the maths. Did they actually take away that Anunoby 3-pointer at the beginning of the game? I don't know what the Celtics are going to be submitting to the league for review here after this one, but that might be their only case left at this point. Is we have to start submitting letters to the NBA afterwards and just see if there's an off chance that we can get the results changed, because down 2-0 going into New York Madison Square Garden for Game 3 is a brutal place to be for the defending champs, but it's also not a place that I think is a totally surprising spot to be finding ourselves, especially the last couple of years with some of these teams, chat. Like we've seen with the Nuggets, and again, we've seen with the Bucks, and I know that maybe a lot more of the roster might be a little bit more of a younger roster, and again, the Bucks have lost some pieces, the Nuggets have lost some pieces from when those teams won the title as well too. Are we even caught up to the live chat? I said we got it just running on the rerun from where we were at, but let's see if we're doing it again, chat. Pause. The remote will not work. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're actually caught up to the live. Okay, yeah, we are. We're locked in and ready to go. I can't, we don't want to necessarily skip past any inside the NBA moments that we do get, but just to make sure we're in tune with the game, because that, of course, will be live here in a second, chat. But, yeah, I guess here, let's actually go back and look real quick the results of where some of these last couple champions have been, because some of these other teams, throughout NBA history, chat, of course, it's been teams dominating stretches of NBA history, or multiple teams, Lakers and Celtics, and you have also little sort of not mini dynasties, but you have your, Lakers and Celtics in the 80s are like your A-plus teams, and then the first half of the 80s, you get the Sixers mixed in there. The last half of the 80s, you get the Pistons mixed in there, and you just have versions of it throughout NBA history. The Bulls early on in the 90s, of course, dominate the whole 90s. They're matched up against the Jazz like a little bit later in the finals a couple of times. Like, the Jazz obviously aren't the A-plus tier of the 90s, but good enough to get to a couple of finals and win their conference. Like, we haven't necessarily, of course, had that consistency since the Warriors team with Durant and Curry and those guys. And, the Raptors with Kawhi is a different scenario than these teams because, of course, he left right away. He was an expiring contract. He was, what's the term I'm looking for, chat? A mercenary is sort of the right term, but a gunslinger maybe? What's bounty hunter? I'm trying to think. I don't even know what the term is, chat, but maybe there's like a Western sort of vibe term that I'm thinking of. I don't know, some renegade type guy. Who knows, chat? But, some outlaw 1 year, one mission type guy character for the Raptors. And then the Lakers, Davis and LeBron, of course, did have the run up until this season, but that core changed so drastically as well, too. So maybe the Celtics are a unique example of it, and maybe that's why there was some hope, or not some hope, but just a different view of this Celtics team, because they were running back the pieces in a way. So that always is an interesting thing. Like, you're going to run back the same exact pieces, but Pritchard and some of it's a good enough team that it makes total sense. But, even, again, the Spurs had different iterations and different role players throughout every version of the finals teams. So I know sometimes some of that can become by necessity as well, too, where this Celtic, modern NBA as well, too, you kind of lock in your team and it's like, okay, well, we can't even really do anything anyways. Like, this is the team that we paid for. This is the team that you got to have. You want a title with that team, you got to keep that team for a little bit, I guess, is the rules. But the Lakers here for the next season after they won the title, lost in the first round to Phoenix. That's right. Davis got hurt in that series. I believe the first time in LeBron's career that he ever lost a first round series, chat. Had to happen one of those years. The Bucks, of course, won the finals. Then the next year, was that the Celtics? Yes, Celtics 7-game series, the Grant Williams game in Game 7. So they had a second round loss in that series. But didn't they also have some injuries as well, too, chat? I'm trying to think. Maybe Middleton was hurt in that series, if I remember correctly. And then the Nuggets, after they won the title a couple of years ago, I guess that would have been last year in the playoffs. They lost to Minnesota in 7 games in the second round as well, too. So Tatum right on the Giannis Jokic path, chat. This is perfect. The only thing Tatum is missing is the fact that he didn't win back-to-back MVPs over the last couple of years. Because this has been back-to-back MVPs, won a title, and then loses in the second round of the playoffs. I mean, he's on track to be a historic level player, chat, of course. But the Warriors, when they won the title in the next season after that, they also lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Lakers. So I guess, again, there's some team building stuff and the player movement, the player empowerment, the way the teams are shifting nowadays definitely goes into the difference of, like we're saying, the teams stayed together in or the teams were dominant in the 80s and 90s. The teams also, stayed together in the 80s and 90s and all that stuff. But, like we're saying, even the Bulls had, they brought in Rodman and stuff in the last trilogy, the second trilogy that they had. So there was still different versions of the team even when MJ was there and even in that 90s run. But there has been, like we're saying, or like we're seeing here, a weird ceiling with these title teams where, again, like this Boston team is as about together as any of these other title teams as well, and they are finding themselves running into problems in the same round that all of these title teams have found themselves running into problems for. And I don't really know what that even means at this point, chat, or if it's just a coincidence. Is it the competitiveness of the league? Is it just the brutality of these teams? And I guess even the couple of finals, like maybe it just really is how competitive the league is this year, where, you wouldn't say that these champions were sort of last man standings, but there is a piece to that as well too, chat. Like, the Lakers in the bubble. I guess we could even go back to the Raptors for this one as well a little bit. Like, of course, like we're saying, Kawhi was a bit of a, a rental that season. But let's see here, chat. So they had the Warriors series, the Bucks series, the Sixers series, in the Magic series that year. And I believe because they had the dramatic series versus Jimmy, and that was the best version probably of the Sixers team. And the Bucks team was, I think, pretty good this year as well too. But it would have been, of course, the Warriors team in the finals that was the team that got hit with the injuries. That was, I don't want to say the reason that the Raptors won the finals, obviously, but was a contributing factor to the fact that literally, Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson weren't on the court for the last couple of games. But again, who knows if that changes it? And you could go back probably through every year in NBA history and look at injuries. But again, there is a pattern here that's forming a little bit different and a little bit more stark contrast than we've seen before. Like, what is the other longest period between back-to-back title runs? So we're currently sitting at, and again, are we writing off the Celtics right now? But this is what we're staring at, down 2-0. The math is very overwhelming in their favor. So, even if the Celtics were up 2-0 in this series, I mean, with the way that they're playing right now, it'd be like, can we even trust the Celtics? The Knicks are probably going to make a comeback, but the Knicks don't even have to worry about that for the series themselves. They just need to close out these next couple of games in a way. But yeah, we are at now, going to be what, one, I can't even do math chat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be the 7th season. That's embarrassing. Counting out 7 seasons. There is the 7th season. If the Celtics actually get eliminated by the Knicks, that we wouldn't have back-to-back champions. So that would it be, because you got the Warriors, 3 out of 4. The Heat won a couple. The Lakers won a couple. You have, okay, here's a run, chat. Pistons, Spurs, Heat, Spurs, Celtics. So you got 5 seasons. But I guess, we started with the Pistons in 03-04. Of course, the Spurs won the title in 02-03. So the Spurs won 2 out of 3 there, and 3 out of 5 in the early 2000s. Of course, the Lakers won their 3 in a row. The Spurs again. The Bulls had their run in the 90s. The Pistons, the Lakers, the Celtics kind of alternated here for a bit. So, do we have to go back to the merger days, chat? We really might. 75-76 is the last ABA season. So, I guess if we just went pre-merger, it would have been since then, basically. Because, so I guess 76-77 would be the first season with the merger. And you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I count? Did I even count it out right there? Okay. Restarting. Once again, you're here for the whole journey, chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so the 10th season in since the merger was when, or ish, chat. Yeah, who cares? But 10-ish seasons since and then the Lakers won back-to-back finals. But like we're saying, even there was a bit of a balance here, more so, where I don't know if these teams were getting eliminated like in the second round every year, where, the Blazers with Walton obviously ascended one year that they were healthy in a big way to win that game. Are they running highlights? I got to make sure that we're still live for the Knicks, or for the Thunder versus Nuggets, chat, because, or we accidentally went backwards. We might have. The Sling TV is not cooperating right now, but we will get that, and then we'll get back to figuring out why these teams aren't winning back-to-back titles, chat. I guess, maybe Wembanyama and the Spurs can be the team to finally break the curse, chat. But here, let's just reload because I don't trust it. Okay, yeah, so there we go. I guess, 20 minutes off the start time is not super shocking for the late slate NBA game, but didn't feel quite right that we were running highlights there. Or I guess they could just be running the keys of the game a few minutes in. Yeah, what are we at, like 7 minutes here? Yeah, 7.5. OKC up 18-9. So perfect situation for Jokic and the Nuggets to, again, make it dramatic at the end of the game, like we were saying. But, yeah, 76, you have the Blazers sort of emerging as a fun team that year. Let's see even, like, the runs that they would have had with Walton. So, the 49-win team that year. The next year, 58-win team, but I think Walton got hurt this year, right? Played 58 games himself. And then, so who knows, that could have been a little bit of an upset that year to Seattle as well. But wait, was there like a bye situation? Oh, chat. So there was maybe a bye situation where they didn't play in the first round because they lost their first round was in the semis that year. So early edition of the play-in, I guess, for the NBA. But like we were saying, 78 and 79, those back-to-back seasons were the same matchup each year. So the Bullets won 1 and the Sonics won 1. But again, you each have both of those teams making 2 title runs. So you don't necessarily have a back-to-back champion, but you do have the continued dominance, the multiple-year dominance from the teams in each conference, if that makes sense. And then, 79, 80, and 79, 80, and 81 alternate between Lakers and Celtics. So I don't know if the Celtics played the Lakers in the finals every year here. But, yeah, okay, so the Lakers played the Sixers in the finals the first year that they were there. The Sixers, of course, won a finals in there as well, too, Chad. But the Celtics in 80-81, and that would have been the Rockets year that they got to the finals. And then the Lakers versus the Sixers again, or is that the one we already clicked on already with the page loading? I don't know if we're getting this all right. 79-80 was also against the Sixers. Okay, chat. I'm going to double check one more time just to make sure because, we like to be accurate. And then 81-82. So they played the Sixers both times. Okay, chat. So the Lakers-Sixers rivalry should be more intense than the Lakers-Celtics rivalry. I guess it, of course, shifted there a little bit. And then the Sixers, did they take down the Lakers again in the finals? So, 3 times, chat. But that goes to prove the point that, you have the same teams in the finals every year, and then it kind of moves to Boston as well, too, a little bit later. I guess, Boston won the 1 at 80. And then, I guess, the matchup between the Boston and the Celtics. Yeah, because there you go. You get Celtics versus the Lakers in 83-84. You get Celtics versus the Lakers in 84-85. You get Celtics versus the Rockets again, 85-86. And then you get Celtics-Lakers again in 86-87. Celtics-Pistons is where the Pistons start to get into the picture in 87-88. But again, same teams sort of dominating every time where, you go back to the conference finals last year and it was Ant and Luka. And then the year before that, it was, Jokic and... Did they take down the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals that year in 4 games? So it was Jokic and LeBron. And then the year before that, it was... shocker. It could be Jokic as the guy kind of hanging around at the end of the playoffs every year. Was it Jokic versus the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals that year? Or did they lose in the second round? Western Conference Finals, yeah, 1 versus LA. Oh, nice. It's the whole playoff series. Oh, no, first round, they lost to the Warriors that year. So the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, oh, they also got the Mavs that year as well, too. Shout out. And the Grizzlies in the second round. A sneaky early round matchup a bunch of times, of course, is Warriors versus Grizzlies. But yeah, just different even iterations of the Final Four teams every year necessarily. And this year even, there's a version where we have OKC versus, well, I guess, to address a big piece of news, of course, would be the Steph Curry injury. And that is unfortunately going to be, and, we've been lucky enough for this playoffs to, I think, have kind of avoided that, honestly. Like, am I crazy, chat? The first round, I think, was pretty good. I'm not missing an obvious one, right? Like, obviously, everybody that advanced, I think, everybody that advanced made it through okay. And then, you still got, I guess, Dame Lillard getting injured again in the playoffs was a big deal. But again, like Milwaukee's ability to advance actually in the playoffs, I think we kind of doubted that anyways. And Dame was already, of course, a injury factor over the course of the season as well too. So obviously the degree to which he got injured extending into next year is a bummer. But him being injured for this playoffs as well too is not necessarily like, I don't think it's a, I don't want to say it disrespectfully, like it's not a game shifting type thing, but I think it's a thing that was already kind of being what's the word I'm looking for, chat? There were sort of guidelines already being set up already for the Dame Lillard injury. Not even just like game plan wise, but like the mental sort of fan aspect of it, where again, like if we don't want to start naming names, but if some more durable players get hurt, it's like, oh, that's, and again, I should be respectful here, chat. Like, not to say that Dame Lillard getting injured is not an injury, but again, it's the availability he had over the course of the season is a little bit different than some of the other guys, and playing off an injury as well too was not helpful for that. But I mean, this year it could be Jokic again versus Ant. It's probably going to end up being Ant, but maybe that's actually the first piece of consistency that we would be getting, chat, would be Ant Edwards, like, and maybe he's in the finals against either the Thunder or the Nuggets and is able to win that series. Like, it's not a bad, the Timberwolves are a good matchup for any team in the league, of course. Like, that's kind of, and so are the Knicks, and so are the Pacers as well too, and so are the Celtics, I think, and the Thunder obviously are as well too, of course. But I think the Warriors were maybe the one team that was a little like Steph kind of powering this team through, which is a credit to Steph, and it's a reason why we had Steph in that first team All-NBA spot for the season, and is really especially now with the timing of this injury, really thankful that he was able to get that 3-1 deficit, not able to have that happen for Houston, because I guess if he gets hurt in that series, you can't necessarily be like, well, Steph gave up a 3-1 lead because, again, he got hurt. But just that being on a resume twice would be a tough thing, even if there would be a little asterisk of an injury with his performance there. Again, if we say it happened then. But, and I didn't even think that they were going to win the series anyways, so, well, it's not like I didn't give him any chance in this series. It's just, I don't know if this injury is also, again, it's a shifting the potential chance that they win it, obviously, but it's not shifting the mental state of the playoffs in my mind. Like, I still had the Timberwolves advancing. It's just more like, oh, they might do it in 5, and now there's really, I don't want to be dismissive of the rest of the Warriors, because Jimmy Butler is still a guy that obviously proved that he could be a playoff player that leads teams to the titles that we wouldn't necessarily expect or pick. But the way Steph was powering that team was obviously, as important as any of these other guys, chat, and is a reason why I thought that in the conversation of things, he should have been in the first team All-NBA conversation, because his responsibility on the Warriors team combined with his ability to play at that level was just as did we have him? I guess we had him probably like 3rd or 4th in the player rankings. Did we have him behind Doncic, chat? He's going over Luka Doncic, because Luka Doncic lost in the first round as well too. But so Anthony Edwards actually advancing to the Western Conference Finals like multiple seasons in a row. Again, it's like, okay, this is it, chat. We've been the face of the league conversation, and that is where the face of the league will be determined. The face of the league is always determined by the guy that does the most winning. And that is why we haven't had the face of the league yet, because as great as Jokic and Giannis are as individual players, and as much as we sing their praises, we haven't necessarily had them ascend to the level of winning above the rest of the guys in a, real face league type way. Like, and again, you still had Steph winning the finals a couple of years ago, and LeBron winning the finals a couple of years ago. So those guys not only have the legacy rings to compete against Jokic and Giannis, they literally have the rings in the decade to be like, oh yeah, I get maybe, like LeBron and Steph with the durability stuff we're seeing as well too is definitely maybe starting to become a factor as well. But it's not like I don't trust Steph less. And again, LeBron is moving into a different phase of his career as well, but it's not like I'm going to trust him less for whatever phase it's in. And we saw him with Luka. I mean, of course, the dynamic of those two players is why it's awesome. And if the league staged it, chat, they staged it at a perfect time, because I think this season it was a credit to LeBron that he was able to sort of sidekick it the way that he was at times. But next year, he really is probably going to be a sidekick to Luka Doncic in a real way. It is just what it is. Like, it's the phase of his career that he's moving into. Like, if they actually want to be like, let's set ourselves up for playoff title success, like LeBron might actually have to choose next year between an All-NBA appearance and the NBA title. And not say like, every player just goes into the season like, hey, which one do I want? Do I want an NBA title or an All-NBA? But, which one is he going to go for? Like, he might have to look at the season and go, do I want to play 55 games, 45 to 55 games in the regular season, and then just be as fresh as I possibly can for the playoffs? Because I think that if he wants to add to his legacy, the regular season stuff means nothing at this point. He's accomplished so much in the regular season that adding to it makes it more undeniable for anybody catching him in the future, but doesn't really, and I guess, the long term of it as well too, keeps his legacy up there. The more stats you have to overcome as well too, but doesn't necessarily move the needle in a big way between like him and the MJ and all that stuff. Like, he has 50,000 points or whatever. Like, he's going to get to 55.629 thousand points, and it's going to change the MJ person's mind. Like, at this point, the regular season stats are what they are. He's got 20 friggin' All-NBAs. He's got 20-plus All-Star appearances. He's got, he's going to have 21, 22. And it's like, well, I thought MJ was the greatest player of all time until LeBron had the 22nd All-NBA, and now I'm an MJ. Like, the LeBron resume for the regular season is set at this point. So he can really change it by, wait, LeBron is impacting playoff stuff at 41 years old as, the sidekick to a great player like Luka Doncic. Like, that is where the legacy stuff continues. And if he wants to play with Bryce as well, too, which I think could be a thing that he wants to think about, like, how does he want his career to look versus, playing basketball with the kid as well, too. But Westbrook with a big three in the corner, Chad, cuts the lead to 20. But any sort of Westbrook or any sort of deficit you can to just like, hey, Jokic, then take this thing over. Obviously, you'll take Westbrook 2 for 2 to start, Chad. He's comfortable in this arena. He knows, Chad. It's just like home for Russell Westbrook. But yeah, for him, if he wants to set himself up for playoff success, he might actually have to take a step back in the regular season. And then, like we're saying, because of the stipulations with some of the award stuff, he might have to let that resume stuff go. And there's going to be some blank basketball reference pages in those last couple of years where you're like, LeBron didn't make an All-NBA. But he still might even like, okay, LeBron plays 55 games. I'm not saying he's going to average 16, 7, and 7 next year. Like, LeBron could still very well in his 55 games be a 24, 8, and 8 guy. Like, absolutely still the case. But for him, I guess, maybe for him to, like, if he plays 70 games again next year, maybe the regular season numbers are fine, but I think the playoff stuff really could get, like, not like, oh, LeBron's a bad playoff player, but the conditioning and the wear and tear of the playoffs could really become a factor in the ability for them to make a run with him as a key guy in the mix. And I still think they can do it with him as a key guy in the mix, absolutely. But it's just going to need to manage a little bit more carefully, of course, every year as it continues to go on. But what were we rambling about LeBron for? Another rabbit trail for tonight. It's going to take a lot of rabbit trails for the rest of this first half because the Nuggets are down by almost 20, by 26. Am I doing the math right, chat? 24. 40-16 is the score as we take a timeout here. But yeah, for the face of the league conversation is what we were saying earlier. Of course, to bring it back to that, chat, once again, I feel like it's been a minute since we've addressed the face of the league, so why not? But it's been the guys that, and I guess, to continue with, like, if Tatum had won the title this year, we're saying guys consistent winning. Like, if Tatum wins back-to-back titles, does he become the face of the league? Like, of course, that is the truly special talent that you do get, is the guy that, and I guess maybe we're saying, Anthony Edwards, of course, that's the combo that you're just like, who is the guy that captures the stuff and gets the winning? And maybe, again, Jokic and Giannis have had the basketball talent with it. Maybe there's been guys that have had personality stuff and very, marketable traits, very capturable personalities and all that different stuff, but haven't quite broken through in the same way. And, maybe Halliburton continues to emerge as a top tier, like A+ selling jersey type guy as well too as we go forward in these playoff runs. But yeah, Chad, either way, shout out to the Knicks for getting that Game 2 win and really putting the Celtics, of course, in a difficult spot here, down 2-0 in the series. I guess Westbrook cutting to the basket, Chad, 3 for 3. So at least the Westbrook-Jokic two-man game is working. The Westbrook stuff. If we just leave this series with like positive Westbrook takeaways, then I think that's a win, chat. This could be a long series, like just because this game is a decisive game for the Thunder. Like we were saying with the Celtics, I think the Nuggets probably win close games in this series, and the Thunder probably win. They probably win big games in this series. They probably have some pretty good leads in the games that they are able to actually close out. So, and there starts to be a like, can we get this thing? We already got one in OKC. Like, you don't know what the mental conversation is for a team like Denver. But if the Thunder are just able to get right back on track and win this series, or able to win a slugfest series, like if we just walk away with the fact that like, hey, Westbrook was really awesome as a role guy for this team in a different phase of his career, was because again, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, Westbrook had to be the fifth man on the team to finally be impactful in the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this version of Westbrook also had impactful playoff moments. And you might be like, hey, well, what are you saying about the other version? Yeah, the other versions of Westbrook had impactful playoff moments too. I know. Impactful, yeah, whatever, way chat. But either way, guess what? Westbrook made a finals. I know it's sort of a Thunder's core made the finals, and then Durant, obviously, as the best player on that team, sort of gets brought into it. Harden, as the way he, really took off and made that big three age well as like a core. He gets some notable stuff for that, and as a guy who's never been able to make it back as well too. Like, I guess Westbrook hasn't necessarily either. But Calipari at the game, chat? Is he going for that Nuggets job, Coach Cal? Jamal Murray? How many Kentucky guys are on the Denver Nuggets right now? Is Coach Calipari got some Peyton Watson stock? Strother? Maybe not some Kentucky guys, but a handful of like blue blood type big notable college basketball players. I mean, even Russell Westbrook is UCLA as well too. I mean, outside of Jokic, chat, we've got, I guess Porter's Missouri, so shout out Missouri. I don't want to just shrug off Missouri like that, but I don't think they necessarily go into blue blood categories for basketball schools. But you've got a couple of UCLA and a Kentucky, and then I guess Braun is Kansas. So if they went Braun instead of Porter Jr., you'd have 4 potential blue blood players out there with Jokic. I mean, where would Jokic have gone to college, Chad? I mean, we know LeBron, like we were saying earlier, being in the Cleveland area, would have been in the mix for Ohio State, of course. For some reason, it feels like he would have gone to Ohio State to play football. Of course, he's associated himself with the Ohio State football program. So it's like, I always think of him as on that school as a football player. And maybe there's like a, Notre Dame possibility, chat. St. Vincent, St. Mary. I don't know if they're a pipeline to the Fighting Irish. Also Fighting Irish, chat. But Fighting Irish freestyle would have been about both the St. Vincent, St. Mary, and Notre Dame. Chat, what are we turning into Drake fans here? 2 references to Drake diss tracks, but it's sort of the game plan element of like, what could have happened, because the what if for the Kendrick side of things, I mean, we're seeing it play out. Like, we're seeing the version of him winning it and it being awesome. So it's just, the other side, just examining the other side of the coin, I guess. And I guess we weren't saying like Family Matters, what if it won? It's just like we were saying, that's how great of a song it was. That's like, it makes a song like that not in the moment, just completely nukes it in a way. But I'm trying to think of even because as I was listening to it, I was trying to think of a sports performance that would be the same sort of thing. Like, we could obviously say what MJ did in the 90s to everybody. We were like, MJ sort of tiered down everybody's legacy. I mean, you look at the way that sort of the legacy ranking is going to shake out with some of these modern guys. Like, it could be like, sort of the classic players we hear at the top, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, a run of guys like, even Shaq, of course, is sort of 90s and 2000s crossover. Obviously his run as a peak guy was sort of so he's like a post MJ superstar as well too. Of course, Kobe, Steph, Jokic, Giannis, Durant. So it's, as time goes on, of course, there's going to be more star players outside of MJ, but it's just the league history. Am I doing the math right, chat? So MJ, I mean, we do the Wizards years as well too, but MJ left the Bulls in 98. So it's been, 25 plus years since MJ left the Bulls. But even for the merger as well, it would have been, I mean, MJ as a superstar, if we're given just the 90s as his run as the peak of his powers. So it would have been, I guess it would have been about 25 plus years between the merger anyways and the beginning of MJ's run versus now and the end of MJ's run on the Bulls. But then again, you also have the entire NBA history before the merger as well too, which is, plenty, 20 plus years of history as well too. So you still do have more history pre-MJ than you do post-MJ. And again, I guess if we're not just leaving the 90s out of this, like if we're leaving the MJ era in there as well too. But again, there's just like those 90s guys might start to get filtered down in a weird way. And, the 50s and 60s guys are also going to get filtered out there in a weird way. It's just really whatever era you watched is going to be the era of guys that you put up top of the player legacy rankings, I guess. But with the way that what were we ranting about the player legacy rankings for, chat? Jokic, Giannis, some of these guys moving up. Oh, man. I lost my train of thought, chat. We were talking about Shea. We're talking about Blue Bloods, Coach Calipari coaching the Nuggets. Coach Calipari's moving up the legacy rankings, maybe? Is Coach Calipari going to be a better player than Shaq? Is that what we were saying? I don't think that was quite right, chat. But, oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, these are all great players either way. But it was something about guys getting moved down the legacy rankings. Why were we talking about that, chat? Because MJ nerfed the guy's legacies. Oh, Kendrick nerfed Drake's song. So we could say it's like that. But again, it's more of a, like, did Kendrick move Drake down the legacy rankings? I guess, maybe Kendrick moved himself up the legacy rankings. And again, like on Billboard, he was already number 2. So yeah, at Billboard's legacy rankings. But it's more of like I think an individual game or a season or a series than it is like a full span of a career. The way it is, like, it could turn into the span of a career, I guess, as time goes on. And they've always been taking shots at each other, of course, over the course of their careers anyways. But I was trying to think more of a specific game or a specific series that was like what could resemble. So I guess, DM us at REMINGTOM on Instagram, chat. What type of sports correlation do you think is the Not Like Us drop on Family Matters? Like, it's not even like Leon Edwards versus Usman as well too, because again, Leon Edwards was losing the fight versus Usman. So I guess you could say, was Drake winning the fight in the moment of Family Matters? But even if he was, again, he was winning the fight for like 60 minutes, an hour, or whatever it was. Like, Leon Edwards was losing that fight the entire, like, it was just a much more dominant performance, Usman over Edwards, than, the Drake Kendrick performance was really the only time that we thought Kendrick was ever losing the battle, was, after push-ups, when it was just like a little bit of time where Kendrick, the only time we thought he was losing was when he wasn't, when he wasn't speaking, basically, at this point. But, yeah, with, because I was thinking like Brady making the comeback versus the Falcons, but Matt Ryan, of course, is, with all due respect to Matt Ryan, like, Matt Ryan's not Drake on the legacy ranking. Like, Drake's a little bit higher. Drake a little bit better than as a rapper, in my opinion, than Matt Ryan is as a quarterback. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I would have Drake a little bit higher on the legacy hip hop artist rankings than Matt Ryan on the QB rankings. But that's no disrespect to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan would be up there on the legacy rankings as well too. Matt Ryan maybe more of a chat, maybe a little bit higher up in the legacy rankings than a guy like T Grizzly, because he did win an MVP. But Atlanta, chat, maybe like a Ludacris type of guy, good stats. I don't know if because he needed a Shanahan. So I don't know if it's like needed a producer. See, like, I was gonna say like a Missy Elliott. Was he like a Missy Elliott, Shanahan, the Timbaland? But I think Missy Elliott is a better rapper than Matt Ryan was quarterback as well too. Missy way better, chat. But no, again, no disrespect to Matt Ryan, but Shanahan. I was thinking maybe more of a Shanahan Timberland type combo. But then we go, Jay-Z with his producers on the Blueprint. I think of course he's a better artist as well too. So hey, maybe Future. No, Future. Hey, you're gonna be like, hey, Matt Ryan, where is he on the legacy rankings? But these are all high level guys, chat, for sure. I don't know exactly where he would be on the QB rank. I guess we don't need to figure out exactly the Matt Ryan spot because the 28-3 analysis is not perfect for the Kendrick Family Matters drop, anyways. But yeah, I couldn't think of one obvious where it was like maybe LeBron on Steph in Game 7 in that 2016, where you're like, Steph's going to win this. But again, a 3-1 comeback is a little bit different as well, too. Like, it almost would have had to have been the Cavs made the comeback in that game and then stole the game. Well, not even that, because again, like we're saying, Kendrick wasn't losing. But, like, just the moment of, like, oh, wait a second, how are the Cavs winning this game now? Like, I didn't expect the Cavs to win the game. And, I guess we still have to work out what the exact perfect sports analysis of it. But there was one that jumped off the page as like this player had the potential. Ooh, chat, maybe the 13-second game in Kansas City. Maybe where you have a guy like Josh Allen, because you think at that time as well too, like maybe the Josh Allen people could definitely, Mahomes has more accolades than, Mahomes has more Grammys than Josh Allen at that point per se, but maybe the Josh Allen fans are like, is this the moment where Josh Allen proves that he's better than Mahomes, even though Mahomes has all the Super Bowls and all that stuff? And you still have Josh Allen making great plays at the end of the game. It's one of the great hip hop duels that we've ever had. And like we're saying, great songs all the way around. One of the great quarterback duels that we've ever had in a playoff game or a regular season or whatever. And you still have Allen like making these great plays. And right when you think Allen drives his team down the field to win the game, like Mahomes just immediately makes a play and just a couple plays back down, they win the game. That might be the one, chat. I think that's it. I think we found the right answer. I think it's kind of like the 13-3 game. Because again, it's a game that, and I know with the way that also like, I guess maybe it's like if they go to overtime and then Josh Allen has the hard part 6, I guess they did go to overtime. They just didn't get Josh Allen just never got the ball back. So if Josh Allen had gotten the ball and then like thrown a pick in overtime, like a pick 6, that's what it would have been if Josh Allen had gotten the ball first in overtime, but then thrown a pick 6. And you're like, oh, well, that's, the heart pick 6. Is that what we need to call it? But, oh man, Thunder now with a chance to move up by 30 here. Called the timeout at the 27-point mark. So, I don't know. They pull Jokic with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Save him for Game 3 when they go back to Denver. But, again, that game accentuates the greatness of both players. It's just, as the legacy rankings work out, Mahomes is the one that took that game. And, again, the feud kind of accentuates the greatness of both guys. It's just, well, not every moment of it, obviously, for Drake. But, at the end of the day, you see the hip-hop artistry at work for both of them. And Kendrick just was able to make the right maneuvers. And, because I still think in a 7-game series, like, that's a football game we're comparing it to. If we were comparing it to a 7-game series, I would still pick Kendrick in a 7-game series. Maybe I'd pick Drake in 7. If that's round 1, maybe the next couple of rounds he does get a couple of games. Nokia, if the Nokia beats a diss track, then maybe, that's Game 2, chat. He should have dropped that Game 2 promo to the Nokia beat, but I don't know if he had it around at that time. But at the end of the day, I still probably would pick Kendrick to win it. Just in what fashion, does he win the battle, I guess, is the question. But, I still pick Mahomes to win a game versus Josh Allen. Wouldn't be shocked if Josh Allen got a win at some point, but it's like Mahomes just keeps getting these wins. He can't get past him whatsoever. And just when you think he's got this one game with the perfect scenario and all this stuff, just when you think he's got this perfect 7-minute beat switch, club banger, hip hop, lyrical masterpiece, quote unquote, whatever genius track that he's cooked up, and then Kendrick just, was like, oh, wait a second. I just wrote this in like 2 minutes and put this up on YouTube, and now all of a sudden and I guess it's a good time to mention it as well too, chat, Family Matters, because Not Like Us did recently become the #1 streamed hip-hop song of all time, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know what the qualifications are for that. Like, are we counting some Post Malone songs in here, chat? Because Not Like Us is, and I mean, even if, whatever artist we do put in there, and if we want to change the rules, like Not Like Us will eventually break the rules. Will eventually break whatever record you set in front of it, because of the way that, again, it's hitting as a hit. It's just that awesome as a song. But wait, do they not have songs on this one? Let me see here, chat. Daily? I guess we're looking for totals. Anyways. Okay, yeah, here is the songs. Nokia versus Luther. So there we go. We'll give Drake one little bit of a win there for the dailies. But for the totals, for the bigger picture, chat, the bigger picture, shout out. So yeah, Juice WRLD, chat. I mean, come on. We can't disrespect our guy Juice, I guess Humble as well, too. Wait, are we on total streams for... Oh, wait, we're on the daily charts? No Role Models is the most streamed song today? Am I reading this right? Oh, wait, what is the... Oh, 2014 to 2025. Spotify daily stream total charts. Okay, I think it's just a random chart, chat. I don't really know. Unless this is it. But Not Like Us is at 1 billion streams, too, so it's not on here. Either way, I don't know what this chart is, chat. Daily totals for... Or we just weren't worried about reading it too correctly. But I want total... Oh, that's what we just were. Spotify charts. Weeklies? Maybe? Oh, well. We'll try it one more time. Back at it, chat. Let's see. Let's just resort by totals. Can we sort on this one? No? Peak streams? We can't do it, chat? Pause. Oh, well, I think either way, Not Like Us is over. I think it's not only over 1 billion. I think it's over all these songs. I guess Lucid Dreams only at 900 million? Lucid Dreams not at 1 billion yet? Is that true? Should we look at that on... I guess I'd have to switch the screen around in a bunch of ways to look at the Spotify. Oh, there we go, chat. This page is not even loading. So, can't even be trusted. Let's get out of here, chat. Not a trustworthy page whatsoever. But let's see, because Lucid Dreams is a good one. Juice has got some heavy hitters in here for sure for the streaming numbers. Yeah, Lucid Dreams at 2.8 billion. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Again, this is not Drake propaganda, but I'm just saying, let's give the legendary songs the respect as long as they can have them, chat. Let's go most. Can we just look this up real quick? I thought that site would have had it, but once again, research skills probably not on 100% right now. This will probably just end up directing us right back to that website, to be honest. Oh, wait a second. Will they be updating the playlist live? Let's see if they have a live ranking here going. And we can get... And I guess we can fact check them. Will the computer have the computer version have the stats right next to it? Oh, wait a second, chat. Oh, it's in the app. I guess... Okay, I wasn't going to fire up the app, but we can fire up the app. What's this playlist called? Was it just... Most streamed songs on Spotify? Okay, chat, yeah. Real tough to remember there. Let me see. Let me get this switched over real quick to the Spotify. Are we going? Oh, wait a second. I just don't have the camera set up. Oh, well, I guess this is the Mary J. Blige section of the playlist. Welcome in, chat. Did we have... I guess we were listening to Mary J. Blige. I was going to say, why did we have that pulled up? But, because, yeah, we've been... ripping through My Life a ton, chat. Shout out. I've been working on a couple of My Life hot takes, but maybe we won't debut them quite yet. So let's see here, chat. Most streamed songs. And just see what we can get. Most streamed songs on Spotify updated. Top 100. So that's just in general. Most streamed rap songs. Here we go, chat. Will this update? Oh, this doesn't have the number on it. But where is Not Like Us here? If Not Like Us is not on this, I guess is. Oh, so this is probably just still the one that they made, whatever this day is, July 18th, 2023. Yeah, so the top 50 doesn't look like they've updated it since then at this point. So I guess that's why this one has marked updated. Shout out to this guy. Let's see what he's got here for the list. Where is Not Like... Oh, yeah, so this will be total streams then, I guess. We'll have to filter out Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood. Do I know this song, chat? I guess I'm not gonna play it. I guess I don't know it by name. But this has got, I was gonna say, this has got to be in the 2 billies, 3 billies, almost 4. I guess was it Blinding Lights that was at number 1? Yeah, Blinding Lights is at 4, I think. Is Shape of You at 4 too, or is it just Blinding Lights at this point? Blinding Lights is almost at 5 billion. Jeez, you guys are still listening to Blinding Lights like that. Weekend down to 115. Weekend's at number 3. Where's Kendrick? Is Gaga up at number 1 right now? She just dropped an album recently. Is Kendrick number 2? Did Kendrick pass The Weeknd? Did I miss that? Oh, Kendrick's down to 90 mil. Uh-oh, chat. Stop listening. Why you guys stop listening to Kendrick for? Hey, he's not number 6. He's doing fine. Is it Gaga? I guess we do have we could just go to the website and look up the actual monthly listeners. Yeah, Gaga at 116. She's number 2. Oh, I'm not even thinking. Of course. He's always in a stratosphere by himself, chat. Just drop a song every couple of years. I mean, lately, every couple of months. 129. Our guy Bruno Mars, still at number 1, of course. But Gaga's hopped The Weeknd to number 2. Kendrick at number 6. Has SZA passed Kendrick yet? I was thinking about that watching the tour. We had that Atlanta rerun from the Atlanta show on a couple of live streams ago next to one of the games. Oh, she's at 80.5. But I was thinking watching, I mean, she's just such a dynamic vocal performer as well, too. And not to say that she outperforms Kendrick directly when they're performing, because, again, it's a different thing. Like, just because a player is hitting more three-pointers, obviously, than one guy, doesn't mean he's necessarily playing a better game than him. If the guy is the defense and the full stuff, if Doncic is hitting some threes but not playing defense, then the other guy is giving you a more all-around game, then maybe that guy is the quote-unquote better player. But, again, you just get SZA on some of these vocal performances, and it doesn't even matter who she's on the stage with, Chad. She's just going to be the star anyways. So, and the fact that maybe the crossover for, because, again, like, everybody's listening to SZA anyways, but maybe the people that would be tuned into Kendrick that wouldn't be listening to SZA, the exposition to the catalog might be, because I think, I mean, again, like, Kendrick was like, been in that 4 to 6 range for a while now, the last couple of months. So everybody is already listening to Kendrick, but because of the Luther track, and I mean, because of some tracks in the past for Kendrick's career anyways, I think the crossover, I think people that listen to SZA do also listen to Kendrick. Like, they listen to hip hop and they listen to stuff. I think it's more often that they listen to Kendrick. I think Tyler is and Travis and Drake a little bit. I think maybe the SZA people don't listen to Drake. I don't know. Well, again, everybody's listening to all these people, so it'd be a lie if you say you don't. But like I said, we can sit here and say we don't listen to Drake, but he got our monthly listen because we listen to Family Matters on the shuffle, and we probably have had we probably had Drake on the shuffle a couple of times this month already. Not shocking, anyways. But because I think because of Kendrick's music, I think some of the crossover between the two fan bases, I think there might be more Kendrick fans that don't listen to SZA than there is SZA fans that don't listen to Kendrick. But I could be wrong. That's just that's the way I think of it. At least just kind of judging from conversations from people I know, it seems like more people would be that way, which is kind of surprising, maybe you would think. I'm trying to think. Like, no, that would seem right. That would seem right. Because I sneaky might think we might be the, well, I don't want to doubt anybody else's SZA that we know, like, their SZA listening abilities, but, we might be up. This year specifically, chat, we could be in the mix for sure. And we're not going NFR pod here, chat. Luther, the only reason you don't see it in the like songs is because this is probably off of the clean album. In here, I guess, would be the... Because Luther, of course, in itself is a clean song. But yeah, you see the album link to this is all of the filtered tracks. So shout out, chat. But it's just, of course, not the one that you get when you're usually searching these ones up to put them in your playlist. It's just what it is. Mom, don't worry. We're, of course, not saying any of the bad words. But if we're just not saving the songs out of the, out of the playlist categories. But yeah, so don't worry. Luther is absolutely a great song. Shout out to the NFR pod, though. I think they will. Well, I guess I don't know. Did Lou say that Luther is still a skip? But maybe the other one, chat. I was saying the other one because I guess I was going to say I don't remember if I had it backwards what their takes were. But I don't remember which one Ant or Lou said what or what. But shout out. Call in and defend yourself. Either way, for the NFR pod guys chat. But yeah, Kendrick and SZA's tour is fantastic. SZA's going to be a star. Probably pass up Kendrick in the rankings just because she is that fantastic. Not to spew any other type of propaganda, but what were we going to look up on Spotify? Oh yeah, we were looking up this most streamed songs playlist to see where Not Like Us was falling. To see if this is actually updated, chat. So there's Lucid Dreams at, the 2 point something numbers. So these are all, 3+ before we get to top, wherever we were at there, 30-ish. Rockstar at 19 as well, too. Oh, yeah, top 37. Goosebumps. Kendrick on Goosebumps, even a higher streaming song as well, too. I mean, where was Humble at, chat? Was Humble up here? Humble wasn't in the 3 billies, was it? So Humble's below Goosebumps for streams. God's Plan. Let's see here. A lot of Bruno Mars. More Bruno. There's Humble, chat. There's Cole. Then we get to some of the Eminem. French Montana. Hey, yo. Birds of a Feather is already in the top 85, chat. Hey, yo. Let's see. Sicko Mode. Save Your Tears. 100. Okay, so maybe this leads... Okay, so 100 by... I'm going to butcher that name, chat. But one of the BTS guys in Lotto. And they just... So it says this one was added in a week ago. And the total streams for this song is... Oh, whoa, chat. This is at 2.3 billion. Wow, so everything in the top 100 is at least 2.3. So I don't know if I read that Not Like Us stat correctly. Maybe there was like a daily stream stat or something like that. But either way, again, the pace that it's on is pretty incredible. Because, we're 1 year in either way for this song, just about. Just past the 1 year mark. And yeah, it's already sitting at 1.4 billion streams. So just that in a year, again, I guess we even rounded down a little bit. So it's at 1.45 right now. But if we go 1.4 million in a year, easy math, 2.8 next year. I know that doesn't quite put it at number one, but you're already looking at, what are we at? 1.4. So you're at 4.2 the next year after that in the third year. So I don't know. It might take, I guess we're comparing it most streamed songs at that point, like if it want to catch Blinding Lights, but I don't think it necessarily would be off the table for it to do that at some point as well, too. It's just, Luther as well has been such a strong track in the Kendrick discography that people keep bumping that one. I guess Blinding Lights and what's the other one that had the run? Is Save Your Tears on that album? What else is on that album, chat? I guess we got to go. Is that... Oh, now I'm a bad fan. Starboy? Are we going to Starboy or After Hours? I should know. Starbot? Hey, yo. No, we want Starboy. Or maybe I'm thinking of Starboy as the other just super crazy stream song. Yeah, 3 billion. So that, as any weekend project would. Multiple billion stream songs on it. I feel it. Hey, yo, pause, chat. He feels it. Die For You, Starboy, and Reminder has 1.2 billion streams. Reminder? I don't even know when the last... I guess we need to save more tracks out of the Weeknd album. I feel like the Weeknd, I don't necessarily cue him up a lot when I'm shuffling songs, so I just go back and end up listening to the full albums. I don't necessarily save full album stuff. from the weekend. I'm a bad weekend fan, chat. I can give your excuses for why some of these songs aren't saved in there, but at the end of the day, like I said, gotta be honest, weekend is not necessarily like the top player for our, like we're saying, our queued up rotation album. Certain scenarios, but not like for us anyway. It's not pretty like desert island situation. Bring 5 albums. We're not against playing any weekend songs. That's what we're saying in your chat. But 4.8 for Blinding Lights. Save Your Tears was on. Is that what I said, or did I say Die Free? Either one. I was thinking some Ariana Grande feature that they ended up doing was also a massive hit on that song as well too. But 4.8. But I mean the way. And I think it obviously, the way it bears out on the numbers, but the way Blinding Lights was around as a song, maybe it is more than Not Like Us. And you can't say I guess you can't say for an extended run as well too, because of the way that, again, it's still racking up numbers, of course. But here, let's go back to that website and see if we can find, because we actually, here, I do want to look up some of the daily stuff now and see what we've got going for that, chat. Let's see here. Daily. Alex Warden. Ordinary. So daily total stream. So I guess, people just bumping no role models today. Or is that... No, it wouldn't be. So wait, did it get one? It didn't get 1 billion streams just today, chat. Sweater Weather got 800 million streams just today? Is that what it's saying? Oh, the 7-day total? Oh, okay. The weekly total, chat. Streams? So it got 1.2 streams. Nokia got 1.7 million. Drake got 1.17. Drake got, Luther got 1.14. And then 2 somber songs. Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars in here. Birds of a Feather in here as well too. TV Off, 800,000 streams today as well too. So Timeless with 700K. All the Stars is in here as well. Where is it Not Like Us gonna fall in here, chat? I guess a slow day for the song. Where are we at? Do we go artist search here? Let's see. Kendrick. How many songs does he have registered on here? Not Like Us. Okay, so 691 for the daily streams. Let's see here. Oh, scroll right past it. Top 30, top 25. Oh, chat. Right below, we should have been paying more attention. So Benson Boone is trying to find himself sandwiched between Kendrick Lamar. Hey, yo, chat. Hey, yo. But he does on this ranking anyways. Between All the Stars and Not Like Us. And Shabuzi, Tate McRae, Gracie Abrams, Chappell Rowan. I mean, some heavy hitters here, chat. Obviously, some star players. But Big X? Okay. We love to see it. And Morgan Wallen's about to dominate the charts again, too, because we just got there was a random pre-save ad for Morgan Wallen. I don't know. Yeah, it's gone now, chat. We didn't pre-save it. So it said, well, not for you, I guess. But what's it recommending us now? Okay, it's giving us R&B recommends now. Hey, I'm not against that, chat. I am not against that whatsoever. We got a little Victoria Monet in here, a little Leon Bridges, a little Kalani, a little Her. For sure. A couple different playlists. But I guess it's not. So I guess it was, I guess it's nighttime, chat. So it was recommending some, I was going to say hip-hop albums, but Morgan Wallen hip-hop? I guess, it just depends. And sometimes he's get Lil Durk or Big X on there, maybe. But obviously, not really his lane, to say the least. Not his lane. Morgan Wallen, are we hitting him with the LeVar Ball? Stay in your lane. It is what it is. But, yeah, I saw that album. I just saw that album in the pre-save options, and I was like, oh, look out. What did we pre-save? We pre-saved Lil Sims, of course, because that one was about to drop, and that might have been it, to be honest. Oh, chat. It was the Mariah Carey 20th anniversary Emancipation of Mimi. So, we just pre-saved it to pre-save. Oh, I didn't even scroll through the track list, chat. Apparently, there's 40 tracks on this thing. Holy Jesus, chat. But, obviously expanded way off of the, way off of the original track list. So I don't know. Haven't read about anything about the 20th anniversary edition of the Emancipation of Mimi chat. But Emancipation, did I say that right? Emancipation of Mimi. But I don't know if this is going to be other tracks from her catalog, or are we getting 20 plus new releases from something, or unreleased material that even the real Mariah Carey fans know about. I mean, chat, again, I listen to the Spotify. It doesn't mean I'm kept up with the news of what tracks 19 through 40 could be on this 20th edition album. But yeah, I guess it was those two, and those were the only pre-saves. But yeah, I was like, oh, there go the charts. Morgan Wallen, he's back again, dominating everybody's Spotify. But Birds of the Feather I didn't even switch the... See, chat, this is why I don't go to the Spotify ever, because I never switch the numbers back over. So here are the quick numbers. We'll find Not Like Us again and get it back up. What was it, 30-something here, chat? Right next to... Yeah, right here at... 24, that's right. 24. Between Benson Boone and Shabuzi, right inside the top 25. But, yeah, then what were we going to do? Something else, chat? Who knows at this point? We were going to recap the Met Gala as well, too. This first half, I think this one might go to the Nuggets, chat. This one might go to the Nuggets. Should we take... Okay, let's do this, chat. We haven't even taken a break tonight, chat. Hey, yo, we've been unprofessional all day at work here on the pod. It is what it is. We haven't even shouted out our... shout out BETSTAMP, shout out Pura Vida, chat. We haven't even given them a little look tonight. It is what it is, but should we let's go to a quick break, and then we'll, I guess, bonus time, chat, bonus period, a little Rem and Sam after hours. I feel like we did a whole show without a break there. That's kind of embarrassing, but I guess, yeah, we'll take a break, a little Rem and Sam after hours. Here's what we'll do, chat. After hours, we'll throw on the Andre 3K album, the new piano album, and we'll recap the Met Gala. Boom, perfect. It all worked out, chat, unless the computer live freezes on this break this time as well, too, and we cut the feed again. So, chat, we've been tiptoeing through these live streams. So far, so good. We'll go to break, and stay tuned. We'll see if we can get through the rest of this one okay. Maybe the streak of sloppy live feeds will be broken, hopefully, with this one tonight. So, we'll be back on the other side of this. Okay, chat, the Nuggets would be going into the halftime down 30 points, but Scott Foster won't let us go to halftime. He is, or Ed Malloy or somebody, he's reviewing something. I guess I don't know exactly what happened, but there was some kind of review foul situation thing, and he was like, get back to the line, free throws, put 0.5 back on the clock. We got to play this out, chat. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's closing in. I know, again, if this was a Celtics game, it's like, oh, 30 points. We can't trust them. But it's closing in on the Nuggets need to just or the Thunder too, just get home safe territory. Like the Nuggets, or the Thunder, sorry, just close this one out. Just nobody get hurt. Jalen Williams went to the floor a little bit for like a split second here at the end of the half. And I was like, oh, what's going on? This is another again, get home safe. But yeah, Chad, so that game is basically out of the way. And like I said here, I almost forgot, but let's get her queued up, chat. Andre 3000 surprising us with some new music. Still won't drop bars on his own Spotify page, apparently. But will give us new music, chat. And I haven't listened to this yet, but I've been waiting for the live reaction. Got to do it now. Pause. And what's the runtime on this? I don't think it's crazy long. Yeah, it's only 16 minutes, chat. Hey, yo, you got to spin this one a couple times, I guess. And the Flute album is, the Flute album's 8 tracks. This one is 7 tracks, but the Flute album is an hour and 30 minutes. So apparently he had a lot more to say on the flute than he did on the piano. And the titles on the piano album, okay, so the title of, I guess here, chat, we're not even on the spot, but now is actually the excuse to go to the Spotify because we actually need it this time. Well, I guess, we'll go to the Spotify now. We'll be back on the web, hopefully, with the Met Gala recap. Looking at Andre 3K there as well, too, chat. I guess Andre 3K corner to end it. I love the warning, no bars. See, the fact is it's Andre 3K. You still believe it? Okay, chat, so we're one of... I love the number just consistently getting lower and lower. Less and less people checking out the Flute album. But, hey, it's only 16 minutes. You don't, or the piano album. You don't want to throw on the piano album. And 7 piano sketches as well, too. So is this like him messing around on the piano? It's him messing around. But the Flute album is actually pretty good. Like, I do kind of like listening to the Flute album. It's not a... Should I almost cue it up here? Are we going to get copyright strikes in the Flute album? Who put this album out? Epic Records? Is Sony going to take us down for playing the Flute album? Let me see it just real quietly in the background here. I guess we already got a copyright strike on the last one. We're walking on some thin ice right now with the warnings that we can have. So let me just... Yeah, the flute album is actually like kind of like, yeah, I can't speak on the overall game of the flutists, but it does seem like quality flute music. November 17th, 2023 was the release date for that. So it's been over a year, chat. Well, well worth the wait for some more Andre 3K instrumentals. And this, again, without having listened to this piano album, it immediately makes this flute album, I think, better. Like, it just immediately continues to age this flute album better because, again, it's like Andre 3K, he's growing his instrumental life. What instrument do you want to hear Andre 3K on next or now? You want to hear him on the piano? You want to hear him on the flute? You have options, chat. Now you have options for which Andre 3K instrument you want to listen to him play. But you get it. We're talking about the Spotify here. So, I guess we could listen to the whole flute album again. But this is usually like a fall asleep album. So I don't know if we want to fall asleep. Rem and Sam sleep over here on the live stream. But yeah, we've already fallen asleep. We already got caught sleeping at work once in the job today, chat. So, I guess this would be the one to actually have that happen too. A live streaming kind of, we just turned it into a bit, chat. Oh yeah, that was the nap time segment on the Rem and Sam pod. But I guess here I'll play it here because I want to play it through the speaker. I guess it'll play either way, chat. If I cue it up here. Oh, firing off, chat. See, yeah, chat. Okay, this is what I was afraid of. I guess not afraid of him. We'll let Andre 3. We just gotta let him cook. We just gotta let him cook. We gotta trust him. He's a musical genius. Whatever genius is in these notes, apparently we're just too stupid to understand. Oh, there it is, chat. Oh, he got us. He got us. He weeded out the fake ones at the beginning. The problem was the name Sketches. I didn't know if we were gonna get him kind of plucking away. It's like, I just sat down at the piano for 16 minutes and had a stream of consciousness. Like, maybe that is what this is. And he's just kind of like, okay, the first song is me just warming up to the keys. The second song is whatever. But no, chat, he's cooking now. Jazzy vibes. I mean, he's always been a real jazzy figure, chat, for sure. But now into because again, the flute's kind of I think the flute's a jazzy instrument for sure. But I mean, trumpet number one, absolutely. Piano definitely I think piano's got to be the number two jazz. I mean, the 1-2. If you're, what are the two basic pieces of a jazz band that you would need? I don't know if I'm the right one to speak on that, chat, but I feel like it would probably be a piano and a trumpet, not a hot take. So, not a piano in a flute. And again, I don't know if this is a jazz album. Like, I don't know what. Do we get a genre for this album, chat? Okay, I guess we got to go back to there. I see. I didn't even pull the Spotify up in the background. I'm slacking, chat. We learning though. We're learning. Here we go. We've got. I guess we gotta keep the YouTube live stream monitor going as well because we are working on a warning right now with the copyright. So we'll be okay, chat. It's not like we're gonna get in too big of trouble here, but we just don't want to have to necessarily go on timeout for the live stream. So we just got to be mindful of how loud the music is, I guess, and how much we are talking over the top of it, chat, because that could become a problem as well. Okay, it hasn't detected anything. So last time it caught us detecting something. This time it has not. So we're sneaking under the radar, chat. Sneaking under the radar. But going back and forth like we're saying. A little chopsticks in one half. A little Beethoven on the other. So yeah, let me see if I get on like Wikipedia if it says if this goes is this genre bending? Is this genre fluid? Is 7 piano sketches even have its own page? I don't think it does, chat. But it knew what we were talking about. It directed us to Andre 3K. So here we go. Okay, we're back, chat. Look at us. Learning as we go. We'll forget the next time. Don't worry. Does it go into the studio albums category? Oh, it's not on here yet, chat. Oh, what is it, an EP? Does this count as an EP? 7P. Okay, so it's an EP. So we still need an Andre 3K album. The flute one is his only studio album, chat. We can't put this in the EP category. as well. An hour and a half EP, maybe. Just I think the runtimes spread pretty even over a lot of the tracks. Obviously, most of the tracks are longer tracks, but I don't think there's one like. Is there like an hour-long track and then like a minute-long track? Let me see here, chat. We got okay. Yeah, there was a 17-minute, a 10, a 13, a 10, a 12. So yeah, it just adds up over the course. And this one, the 3-minute track is the nice one. I guess people bumping that intro track for sure, but also yeah, I mean 93 Till Infinity and Beyonce, chat. It's a slap for sure. What song is this? This is kind of nice. What just happened? That was a nice piano riff. And then one day you'll what, chat? Yo, what? Who knows? Who knows? But, oh, see, yeah, there you go, chat. I looked up the Flute album on the Spotify and forgot to split the page. So there you go. See, I jinxed myself. We were going to forget it last time. So yeah, no, I guess, further information on what this album qualifies as or what this EP qualifies as. But for us, if it's wordless instrumental piano-y stuff, it's jazz, chat. If it's music, if it's old-timey sounding music that you don't know what it is, it's jazz. It's all jazz, right? So Andre 3K with a jazzy piano album, I think is a good way to describe it. And I mean, you would know as well too the sound of. Here we go. Yeah, this is a Flute album, chat. So like we were saying, a couple of those track links, and then got the streaming numbers that we mentioned as well too there. But let's go back to the real star of the show. Oh, what is this? Like an interlude? 54 seconds? When you're an ant, are we going to get taken? Does it know the dialogue for this track? It probably does. What are they saying? I feel like we need words, chat. Do we have lyrics? They said no bars, but see, he lied, chat. We got bars. What is he cooking up? Is there something in the Genius annotations that we missed? Is he promoting a new album? What did they say? We have to go back and listen. Okay, I'm going to mute real quick and listen to what they say, just in case they... Okay, chat. Sorry for like the 25 seconds of silence there, but they basically just read the title of the music of the song. So yeah, it's when you're an ant, you wake up in an awesome mood and you're about to drive your son to school, but you realize you left your lights on in your battery the night, or you left the lights on in your car the night before, so your battery's drained. We all get the scenario, chat. Very relatable by 103K, except usually it's just us people doing that, not ants. I don't think ants have cars, but I can't see like, well, I guess an ant car would be bigger than an ant, so you would see an ant driving around a car. Ideally, unless the ants are driving around smart cars, chat. Ayo, but yeah. So there was a bit of a giggle halfway through, and then a retake, which is why it was, I guess, a little bit of a lengthier intro there. But continues on this. So I would like to know as well too, was this a stream of consciousness? Because there is a cohesion here to the sounds as well that he's going for. Hotel lobby pianos. Blueberry Mansions offer them laughter. Hotel lobby pianos. Like, who knows? Maybe he cooked this one up in a hotel lobby somewhere. I think the hotel lobbies that Andre 3K is staying in, they probably have pianos. I think the hotels that we usually dabble in, chat, no pianos. If there's a piano in a hotel, it's usually outside the lobby. It's usually at the front door. Usually somebody outside the hotel. Like, hey, we get that guy with the piano off the sidewalk. But, yeah, usually never in the hotel for Andre 3K to be playing. But with the, we pull up a couple of pictures of those lobbies, I'm sure, chat. I'm sure. And to be honest, it wouldn't take, like, the highest level hotel for them to put a lobby. I mean, there's a department store in town that has a piano in the middle of it, and it's in a mall. So, it's not a luxury everywhere where... piano doesn't necessarily equal luxury, though it is a nicer store, and they're probably trying to give the appearance of a nicer vibe than it is. So maybe if we request hotel lobby pianos by Andre 3K, with with the pianist know it. And I guess there is probably songs that we can request that they wouldn't know that could be popular. Like if we requested them to play Nokia, like what are they gonna play Nokia on the piano with the JC Penney's in the mall? Like probably not, chat. But this one they actually might. This a pleasant tune. This one might get spun back. Why are people not listening to this album? It's getting better as it goes, chat. The quality's improving. This one doesn't have him like plucking away at the randomness. But I kind of like that though. In the beginning, in that first one, keeps the track unique, in a way. Difference in different sounding throughout. I mean, chat. We're not even. Who cares about the Met Gala? Andre 3K, he's got us floating right now, chat. This is piano bliss right here. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't spin this back. Like, I mean, outside of us not being in the mood to listen to some piano instrumentals. But if we were, if this is what we're in the mood for, then this makes total sense. And again, as much as I kind of like the flute album, I like the flute album because it's Andre 3K. And if I'm ever just like, okay, well, let me put I am a guy that listens to music, of course, a ton, chat. But I never necessarily go like lo-fi, like the lo-fi beats type, right? Like if I gotta like do some work or something, I never go to like the 6-hour YouTube mix of the lo-fi beats. Like I just would rather play a real, I guess not a real song, but I'd rather just throw on the Spotify playlist and like either turn it down or there's a lot of the instrumental albums as well too. We mentioned Pinata earlier, like maybe throw on the Pinata instrumental or something like that, or just other old-timey jazz musicians that have, or not all, again, it's not all jazz, but a guy like it's not the biggest department of news that we know about, the instrumental and whatever, but I guess we could go through my playlist. There's a song that I'm thinking of, chat, but there's guys out there, of course, from 60s and 70s and even now, Kenny G, I guess if we wanted to go saxophone, maybe we listen to more Kenny G, chat, get Kenny G in the rotation. But and is this even piano? What is he playing here? I just realized. Yeah, chat, what is this? 7 piano sketches and a little guitar mixed in on tracks 5? He wasn't being super specific in the title. I guess looking at the speaker is not going to help us hear it more. But, I mean, yeah, Andre 3K is going to crush any instrument that he plays. But once I'm saying, I mean, of course, could find myself in the mood actually wanting to listen to these type of, and not say that, hey, shout out to the flute players out there. I would. And was Andre 3K actually playing the flute, or was it like some sort of recorder thing as well too? Because, I mean, we've all, yeah, chat, like, that's not a flute, Actually, did that have its own Spotify? Let me see. What is this? New Blue Sun. So New Blue Sun, the debut studio album by Andre 3K, debut studio album, is still kind of funny to read. Here, let me switch back over, chat. Again, another beautiful track. Off Rhythm Laughter. Chat, this is going to get some replay in 2025. I'm not even going to lie to you. But yeah, here we go. New Blue Sun. An ambient, new age, spiritual jazz album produced by Andre 3K and Charles Nino. Shout out. American music record producer, DJ consultant. I guess just he co-produced that with. So is that like his first big production? Was New Blue Sun with Andre 3K? But yeah, his previous endeavor in a woodwind instrument, collaborated with James Blake in the jazz song, 17-minute instrumental jazz song called Look Ma No Hands. Former played bass clarinet. So is that what he played in this? You're leading up. Okay, so maybe it's just a different type of flute. What does it say here? Features interdimensional contributions by an ensemble. All the names involved. Shout out to everyone. If you guys are watching this and seeing it and reading it as well. New Blue Sun received positive reviews. Yeah, I got nominated for Grammy, of course. So yeah, I guess it doesn't say. It just says flute. But I guess, there's different variations of the flute, I'm sure. I mean, we're literally looking at one right here. But again, woodwind instrument, But aren't there like metal flutes? I don't know anything about flutes, chat, but I wouldn't necessarily cue up flute music just out of nowhere. Maybe again some jazz and some stuff, some ambient stuff, but maybe not the flute necessarily. But again, the piano is perfect. So while we may listen to some instrumentals for Andre 3K, this we would listen to maybe just in general anyways. And hey, guess what? It's also Andre 3K as well. So like we're saying, I actually see myself, and not to say that there is just a different level of enjoyment with this one than that, the flute album, chat, where it was kind of fun, and then we were like, oh, wait a second, I'm actually just like finding myself listening to this. But again, it's more of like do I want to listen to the lo-fi beats, or do I want to listen to, do I want to give Andre 3K the streams and just go ahead and throw on the New Blue Sun? So this will be, really checking off some boxes for a lot of it. I mean, Andre 3K, give us another piano album, chat. We got a little outro track here. I spend all day waiting for the night. Oh, Andre 3K. Giving us some deep thoughts here. Ayo. I guess I don't know why I muted to listen right on the outro track. We're right on the outro of the track. But here we go. Last track for the album, chat. Already one down. One listen down. Oh, we've got more dialogue to start. So we do get, I guess, bars not from Andre 3K. He said no bars. So we got, shout out. We got a lady's voice narrating the interludes in the background of a couple of these tracks. Again, I don't know. Andre 3K is just maybe a great night in the studio all the way around for him. But we got a little drum solo here from Andre. Am I on mute, chat? No, I'm good to go. Okay. Drum and the piano? Oh, Chad, this is a song. This is a beat. Andre 3K is making a rap song. Can we we need the champion to drop a freestyle, chat. The Chan has a very specific lane of freestyling that we'll not put him on blast for. We'll just maybe one day he'll display his talents. I don't know. But chat, you can see it's still in him, chat. Pause. He wants to, hey, yo, whoa. But you can see the beats are still in him. That's still probably not any better. But, throwing a drum on there, it's close enough, chat. Or a little snare or whatever this is. It's just a whiff of old school, is there a rap song? Is there a hip hop beat in here somewhere? And to be honest, a piano stripped out with no drums, it's not like we haven't necessarily heard a hip hop song over that before. So, could you, chat, sample the new Andre 3K album? Sounds like so there we go. There's an idea, chat. Hopefully the right person hears it and runs with it. But back again to where we thought he fooled us in the beginning with track 1. So, wow, chat, I got to say, really enjoyed the Andre 3K piano album. I am a fan. Your boy likes it. But should we leave it on in the background again? Because I kind of want to see, I was going to say we're going to do a Met Gala recap. I can't recap the Met Gala. The Thunder have 91 points with 10 minutes left in the third. Well, okay. So there we go, chat. Thunder Pacers in the title, maybe? I guess the Pacers are, or Thunder Knicks. Knicks up 2-0 as well. So road teams, chat, in the East. Get on the road if you're in the Eastern Conference. But I guess we saw that in the West last year, with Doncic making his run to the Western Conference Finals and to the finals himself. But yeah, let's. Again, I don't really know what to recap for the Met Gala, but we got to look at the looks, chat. We got to see what the people were rocking. I want to say somebody said at work the theme was something to do with suits. Not the show, chat. Maybe it was the show. The show has had a pretty big run the last couple of years. Okay, yeah. Theme. Oh, here we go, chat. The location in New York City. So, this shows you how much I don't know about the Met Gala. Is it always in New York City? I thought it might have always been in France, but I guess not. So did they move it around? Let's see. Theme. It just has a theme. what is this theme, chat? Black dandyism? Am I saying that right? A cultural movement and fashion style in which black people use clothing and persona styles, specifically historical European sensibility. Did I get through that one, chat? Specifically historical European sensibility of the dandy, a form of self-expression and a way of addressing societal limitations. Oh, chat. So a very progressive theme by the Met Gala. And, oh yeah, list of Met Galas. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so they do move it around. It looks like, oh, wait a second. That's just World of Balenciaga. That's not where, they're not located at the World of Balenciaga. We haven't made it over to that planet yet, chat. Though the planet has, the aliens are here. It's called Balenciaga. Yeah, I guess they don't have locations listed here. Co-chairs. A lot of different chairs. I just like the piano, just Andre 3K just going in the background. Different sponsors, of course. So who sponsored this year's? Instagram sponsored sponsored a couple? 21 and 22? What was the theme of the Instagram? In America, a lexicon of fashion. Oh. And in America, an anthology of fashion. So Instagram. Made in America, I guess. Co-chairs Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Uh-oh. Lin-Manuel Miranda and Regina King. Oh, shout out, chat. 2021, the co-chairs were Timothy Chalamet, Billie Eilish, Amanda Gorman, and Naomi Osaka. Who is Amanda Gorman, chat? Shout out. I should probably know this person. An American poet and activist and model. Yeah, chat. Cancel me now. I don't know. I didn't know who this person was until right now, or at least wasn't familiar with the name until right now. You know, maybe have seen an appearance or some interview. You never know. But yeah, I guess, shout out. We'll get more familiar with the works going forward. But this is a fun crew to be hanging out with. No, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, shout out, but just as well too, they're like, hey, like, is this the under 30? Or I guess, Chalamet and Eilish, what? Under 27 for Gorman, chat. Hey, I guess, we'll slide into DMs and say, hey, can you tell us more about your career? See what's going on. So yeah, what do we got? The under 30 crew here in 2021. Co-chairs for the Met Gala. And then, yeah, 2023, they're like right back to the old people, chat. Anna Wintour, I guess, and Dua Lipa. Oh, this is fun as well, too. Michaela Cole, Penelope Cruz, and Roger Federer. Roger Federer is just not saying anything when these people are hanging out. These four ladies and Roger Federer at the same table planning the Met Gala. Roger Federer is just like, yeah, great idea. Absolutely. Totally. Like, Roger Federer is going to give Anna Wintour and Dua Lipa fashion advice. I don't know, chat. I do not know. Anna Wintour, yeah. Well, once she's in the mix, chat, she's not leaving. She's not giving up her spot. Oh, chat, I mean, this is a fun crew as well, too. This might be the best one. Last year, Anna Wintour, Jennifer Lopez, Zendaya, Chris Hemsworth, and Bad Bunny is not a bad run as well, too. I guess we could go. I guess Anna Wintour just... it makes sense, chat. We weren't paying attention. I guess Anna Wintour just runs the show. I mean, makes sense. If we had to guess who ran the show, that would have been like one of the few names that we would have known, obviously, at that level to even have guessed. So, yeah, totally makes sense. What do you got? More fashion people? Yeah, like this one's Anna Wintour, Tommy Hilfiger himself, and Thomas Jacob Hilfiger, and Arian Lauder. What's this, like that Estee Lauder business? Is that in rock style? That's a fun year. Anna Wintour, is that Julia Cockchat? Hey, yo. And then Patrick McCarthy. Okay, we're getting more fashionable back in the day. Pat Buckley, I guess, ran the show for a while. Jacqueline Kennedy in the 70s. Not Phyllis Dillard. It's a guy. Phyllis Dillon. Phyllis Ellsworth Dillon was the original co-chair. But, yeah, they've definitely made the groups much more fun. Honorary chair LeBron. Oh, chat. Unfortunately, LeBron not able to attend the Met Gala. MCL, it'll DNP'd, unfortunately, for the Met Gala this year. But still fought his way through 5 playoff games in the first round, I guess. But Anna Wintour, Pharrell, A$AP Rocky, Lewis Hamilton, and Coleman Domingo. I mean, chat, as not a misogyny take this table over the other ones. It's going to be difficult to pass on the table with Dua Lipa on it as well, too. But this would be a fun, I guess, not necessarily, these are not lunch table situations, but I'm assuming there's a meeting with everybody involved, right? I'm assuming at some point there's, we get LeBron in this meeting as well, too, chat. A$AP Rocky, Coleman Domingo, and LeBron. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? Next to Pharrell and Anna Wintour and Lewis Hamilton, but I mean, Coleman Domingo and LeBron, and it's like just that combo alone is, if that was a lunch table option, I think I'm taking that one. Do we just want to hang out with LeBron? Sure, but Coleman Domingo as a hang, chat? I mean, and as I feel like hanging out with an actor, and not they're going to be like doing a scene every time you're hanging out, but I mean, Coleman Domingo, I feel like is just a great personality in general as well, too. I mean, yeah, everybody at this table is, and just the sense of, obviously the sense of fashion is great across the board as well, too, but there is a little bit of some, not vague, like Roger Federer. I feel if you want khakis and a polo. The Met Gala theme is Thursday at the office. It's just everybody in khaki, pleated. It's just the theme for the Met Gala is Jim Harbaugh, chat, pleated khakis for everybody. But this is just, there's just like a chat, pause, but there's just like a spewing of I've said spewing 6 times, so that's already crazy. But so I don't even need to, I can't even say finish anymore because that's crazy as well too. But there is just a sexy energy with these guys that there is, speaking of floating with this, like Andre 3K would just fit him right in here as a pause as well too. With maybe don't hover over Coleman Domingo when we say that, but fit him right in here with this group, and there's he just fits the energy with the same as well too. So like we're saying, Jennifer Lopez and Chris Hemsworth, chat. Like if we're just ranking models, then maybe 2024 is that as well too. But there is like we're saying, there's the fashionability of this group, and chat, there's good music as well. Jennifer Lopez, we're gonna have a great time. Bad Bunny, and even Zendaya, I think's got some hit songs as well in there. But yeah, fun group for 2024, fun theme as well. Tailoring black style, super fine, chat. So Superfly, the theme, kind of in a way. Metropolitan Museum, the MMA is where they held the Met at the MMA. So what do we actually have for looks, chat? Notable attendees, like we mentioned. I don't know if we have like a full attendees list. Everything you need to know. Best looks. See every. Okay, maybe that's the one to go to, chat. 15 unforgettable. Yeah, let's go this one. See every look. Every red carpet. See every stunning celebrity look. Okay, chat. This is either going to be worth it or, the scrolling bar is very small. So here we go, chat. Rihanna, of course, unveiled her, I believe, third pregnancy. So shout out to, of course, her and A$AP Rocky, but always stunning as well, too. Zendaya. So yeah, they said the tailoring, I guess, again, the suit theme, very, very heavy for everybody as well too, which I think, suits obviously, a classic sort of fashion look, but I think can be hit or miss, not with the way people use it, because a suit itself is great, but it's also, we know what suits are at this point. So I think like last year, what was it like we were saying, like Earth or something like that? It just, it opens it up to anything. It's more in the tones at which you're dressing and the elements that you're bringing into the design, more so than like, here is what you're wearing, is what I guess, the difference, I think, maybe for this thing. Again, I don't know exactly how strict they were with the rules as well, though. A$AP Rocky in 17 different high fashion brands. I don't even. Brioni Raymond, chat? I don't even know what that one is. Ray-Ban. I feel like Ray-Ban's almost, the fact that it's well known, is it too low key to be in here? But probably not, chat. A$AP Rocky looking great as well too. So I don't know if they're ranked in here, chat, but if you just A$AP Rocky and Rihanna, basically the 1 and 2 for the Met Gala, is, I mean, they're a power couple for a lot of reasons, chat, but they're also, of course, like we know, driving the fashion forward. So, Lewis Hamilton, maybe we should know about Brioni Raymond, chat, because, I mean, Wales Bonner, of course, but does seem like they are very, very, I mean, as they would be. Lewis Hamilton. So I don't know, is there like were you assigned, sort of a color, or how did that work as well? Oh, Coleman, I guess not, chat. Coleman Domingo Coleman Domingo and Valentino? I mean, chat, see, he's literally he's rhythmic in the fashion that he wears. Like, his brands rhyme with his name. Like, there's no way that it's just not an artistic, wonderful conversation that you have with this man. So, yeah, and you get LeBron being like, yeah, Coleman, I read that book too. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, I mean, it's just gonna be a fun time. Coleman Domingo again, chat. So it's ASAP. Coleman Domingo has, more good looks than most people. Hey, yo, chat. Shout out to Coleman Domingo, but Omega Watch as well. And, not to say that he's not slaying in this look. I'm just saying that maybe this look is one that I would wear more necessarily. Plus, I think this is more going for the extravagant as well, too. I mean, they're all extravagant. But because I think anytime you go with like a full body cover on an outfit, like, that's a real go for it design. I mean, I guess, like, he's technically a full body. But again, you've got like your arms free. I guess that's anytime your arms are covered up in an outfit, that is like the ultimate sign of that's a 10 out of 10 for the Met Gala fashion. I'm trying to think if anybody, because I feel like, I guess that's maybe like the 10 out of 10 or maybe 11 out of 10 would be rolling up to the Met Gala in a prop. Because I guess you could have props on, like, I don't know, like a sword or something, but like having some kind of actual prop to be arriving in, I think is like whoa, okay, we're going crazy. So I don't know if we'll see that at some point either. But yeah, arms covered up is the next level as well too after that. But yeah, we got arms out here, chat, on this one. And then Pamela Anderson, stunning as always. Sydney Sweeney, chat. I mean, we just might stop scrolling, honestly. Move her up to number 1 on any list. I mean, chat, I'm going to be speechless. Sabrina Carpenter, of course, the espresso look here, I guess, with I don't know if it doesn't say, but I mean, chat, I don't think it's, we could say Easter egg, but I think it's basically right in front of you. That is the branding here. So, I mean, once again, stunning as well. Pharrell himself also in charge. Tiffany and Louis Vuitton, crazy combo. I mean, great. Whatever the texture is on this suit here, this is fantastic. The tie just a little bit loose. I don't know if that's the look, but if it is, that I think is great. I don't know if you need a button undone here, but probably not. I always just button sleeves up. So, I mean, you get a stylist to work that stuff in, of course. So maybe this is not the outfit for it, but the sort of wide leg bell bottom stuff I see. Because did Lewis Hamilton have that going as well too? I guess, the wide legged stuff, and we're not in skinny jean era anymore, chat. But I didn't know if we were going back to, are we going to wander back into bell bottom stuff, or am I, behind the times in thinking that as well too? Yeah, I guess, just sort of wide leg in general. Zendaya, chat. I guess somebody in the white suit was wearing the wide leg. Yeah, it was Zendaya going with the, I guess, is this boot cut? I don't know, but I just assume anything that sort of starts off skinny at the top and narrows out, widens at the bottom. Chat. But for jeans, I assume that's just boot cut in general. So Sabrina Carpenter, please, no boot cut jeans for Sabrina Carpenter. But Demi Moore, chat. Oh, Demi Moore. I mean, 10 out of 10 as well too. And I mean, once you start working in the pieces, that can be hit or miss, but this works. I don't know what is going for here, but I like it. It's simple, sort of just, vignettes. Just perfect, chat. Perfect stuff. Nice little flow here. And, Any sort of slit in the side of dress is going to be great, chat, but this really works here as well, too. So perfect stuff. I mean, I guess we're not fashion corner guys here, but I'm a fan. Miley Cyrus, as always. I mean, I guess Miley Cyrus, of course. This is great because this feels like, this feels like Miley Cyrus, but this also feels like a good look as well, too, Charlie. I'm just saying. I feel like some of her looks in the past, you're like, okay, you're really going for it here, and just is this a good look? Because I'm not necessarily being like, oh, put some clothes on, Miley Cyrus, but I'm just saying it's not every swing in the fashion industry has always hit, but I'm thinking this one hits, chat. I'm thinking this one is a winner of an outfit for sure. Maya Hawk, chat. I almost said Maya Hawkeye. Maya Hawk. Oh, is there a slideshow version we can go through here? The veil cape situation. I guess we haven't really had a cape at this point. I don't know. Does this classify as what classifies as a cape? But again, I feel like we're not too far off here. But yeah, great use of that for sure. We don't have the person. Is this the person carrying the cape, or is this another celebrity here in the background? We do not know. I guess do the cape carriers get on this side of the flowers, chat? Anne Hathaway in Carolina Herrera in. Oh, excuse me, chat. I should know how to say this, but I just don't. So everybody that is wearing this is unfortunately not going to get shouted out. But chat, great skirt combination here. I mean, going suits, so the dress shirt look as well too is great. I mean, we've seen Anne Hathaway in the Devil Wears Prada in the fashion industry / I guess, again, we're not going office theme for this one, but I think we know that she can crush looks in this line. Is this the third play now for Andre 3K? I think it is, chat. I was like, oh, see, now I know the tracks. I'm like, hey, that's Bluffin' in the Snow by Andre 3000 on in the background. I haven't seen the bear, chat, but is this the star of the bear? I think it is. The name sounds familiar. Yeah, star of the bear. Won a Golden Globe, so familiar as a great actor and as a part of a great show as well too, and familiar as part of a great fashion night in general. Awesome look from our star. Ida Biri. Again, I haven't really dove into the bear as a show yet, so I've only really ever seen the name. I haven't really ever heard anybody pronounce it, so that's my bad there on that one, chat. Hailey Bieber and Saint Laurent and Tiffany, chat. Hailey Bieber. No Justin, though, chat. So I guess we're not going to be the ones to kick up rumors here. Nicole Kidman, chat. I mean, I don't know if she's still looking for a young man, chat. But anyways, moving on. Dua Lipa, of course, Met Gala, not just veteran, but former co-chair of the Met Gala. Once again, another stunning. How many looks do we got here, chat? 125. Do we have to start scrolling? Zoe Saldana in the Tom Brown in chat. Fashion names. I realize now that we're gonna have to start actually catching up on high fashion names, or actually learn to say them when the guys are saying them in songs, and not actually just be like and just mumble through the lyrics. We're known to mumble through lyrics at times, chat, in the songs. Tiana Taylor. Definitely. Is this the most extravagant look of the night? I think so, chat. But I mean, this is an absolutely this is I don't think this is a cape, because this is a coat cape combination, I think, is what we're going for here, chat. I mean, I don't think, because I guess we got like a double suit sort of inspo thing going here with the actual suit look, of course, but then the big overcoat here with, I mean, again, just extravagant pieces throughout. But this is crazy. Crazy good. Pulling this off is 10 out of 10 stuff right here. The little walking stick to go with it as well, too. The wallet chain. I mean, chat, I don't think a chain wallet has ever looked this cool. I guess there's no wallet on here. Maybe the wallet's probably in the pocket, chat. But we've got the pocket chain and so we got a wallet and a timepiece in here, chat. I mean, the only thing she's missing is a monocle, basically, and we'd be set to go. But this is awesome. I love this. This code is crazy, chat. I think maybe if we were going Met Gala pieces that we would want. I don't know though. I do kind of, as much as I like, wouldn't wear, like, if we were going pieces that we would have, as much as I'd be like, this wouldn't be a rotation piece to wear. I think this would be a fun one to have, like, just in the hallway. Like, oh yeah, that's the Coleman Domingo outfit from the Met Gala for sure. But this coat as well too, if we had this coat displayed, that would be fun, chat. Where's this coat at? How much, do we have to start saving the tip out money for what do we got on here, chat? Mark. So is this a Marc Jacobs coat? Yeah, because what, David Yurman David Yurman jewelry. The hat is great as well too, chat. I mean, I guess I guess this would be an outfit that I would also wear as well. Right here. Could I wear this coat, chat? Do you think, I mean, make no mistake, your boy wouldn't look as good as, Tiana Taylor in the coat, chat. But I think for, what was the last, like, look that we could actually pull off here, chat? I guess this Pharrell suit would be pretty cool, but I'm not going to lie. Oh, chat, are we in our extravagant phase today? I think maybe I would take this coat. We're in our luxury. I mean, it's the Met Gala, chat. We're in Met Gala luxury vibes right now. I think we'd be rocking this coat. Can we wear this coat over the Pharrell coat? I don't know if we're like, oh, okay, now he's lost his sense of fashion, chat. Emma Chamberlain? I was looking at looks from last year as well too. So Emma Chamberlain's look from last year was also incredible, chat. Once again, crushing it. The little buttons, chat. What are we doing down there? Hey, yo, got the sort of extended suit look with the chat. We're highlighting the pocket hanky here. We're talking fashion. We got a little color to break up in it. Once again, the sort of, was that Demi Moore with the sort of mid tier break and then the trailing sort of dress effect there at the end. Oh, this is great, chat. The half and half. Lala Anthony. Hey, yo, chat. This is great. I love that. You obviously got, sort of simple underneath, but then the extravagant piece being, we got a thesaurus, a different word here for extravagant, chat. You've got the nice piece on top, kind of half and half on the side is a fun style. Oh, Whoopi Goldberg, chat. Yeah, here we go. Whoopi, shout out. The top hat, the little veil thingy here on the top of the hat, and then the fluffy sort of design on the dress, which, throwing patchwork like this just on an outfit, again, could go south, but I think this is a good use of it because I like the way that this also outlines, like, this is actually a kind of a complicated thing to have worked out here, chat, because you've got borderline two very different contrasting things here. Like, obviously the underneath part, like, you've got a long coat all the way buttoned down here, like, very sort of conservative, buttoned up style jacket. And then this, I mean, it's obviously the silhouette of, like, we've got shoulder here, chat, like a more sort of old school sort of fancy dress, but mixed onto the suit with that, like we're saying, that sort of, is this like a, is this suede, chat? I think we're probably outside there probably no suede at the Met Gala. We'd be the only people rocking suede on the red carpet here. But combining those two things, really a swing, chat, that worked out here. Heidi Klum, very simple, but oh, chat, the details, I think, elevate this. You got nice piping. Are we starting to use fancy terms here, chat? You got a nice outline, and then, the trailing. And I like the fold in here as well too, chat. Again, simple stuff that I think really, really works. I am a fan. I mean, Kerry Washington, chat. I think the Remington pod worships Kerry Washington. Absolutely. So, do I need to break this one down, or is it pretty self-explanatory that is done. Oh, Anna Winter herself, chat, in Louis Vuitton. The colors, amazing. I mean, going in with the carpet, I think she's... Oh, chat! We left us off on a cliffhanger there. Mid-sentence drink. Not very professional, but... Yeah. I don't know if she was styling herself with the sort of decor of the space, but it is her space, chat. So makes sense that it would be reflected in her fashion choices here. Beautiful. Are we even at 50, chat? 28? Okay, I guess we'll go through the top 50 looks, or we'll just not. Oh, chat. Well, you know, Diana Ross was at the Met Gala. How are we not at this thing, chat? Diana Ross is there? I mean, we got to get Diana Ross on a co-chair roll at some point. This hat might win the day. Did I say co-chair roll? We got to get her in a co-chair roll at some point. This hat wins the day. Okay, I think we're combining our sentences at some point. 1116. First time we've seen that brand make an appearance. Obviously, the fuzzy features all over the hat. The puffy sides here on the cape as well. The little fringe on the bottom as well. Diana Ross. Incredible stuff. Tracy Ellis Ross in the Marc Jacobs as well. Too, chat, a fun outfit, but I mean, again, if you're going for fun, this is a great fun outfit, honestly. Little sash in the mix. Maybe a lot of pinks, but you know, they all work together really well, and you break it up with the off-white in here, chat. I mean, you know, this is not bad. Chat, Doechii. Chat, we've got only positive things to say about Doechii, and the shorts look on the shoot. The chat, we're not even gonna be able to speak correctly. The shorts look. I don't think anybody else has tried that. The bow tie is crazy, and the Louis Vuitton on top of the checkerboard is, I mean, subtle enough that combo works. You've got Louis Vuitton belt here. Yeah, we do have a belt. I didn't know if that was just like a brooch thing in the middle, but yeah, we got a belt there. The cigar as part of the look. I mean, chat, if we ever get on the Met Gala, write that one on. I'm taking a cigarette and it's gonna be lit, chat. We're smoking a cigarette on the Met Gala carpet. I guess it is what it is, but would they let you smoke? I guess you're indoors. So we got to go to the Met Gala if they ever have an outdoors Met Gala, because is that the outside, right? Yeah, there's the exit sign, chat. So I guess I don't know if this section is outdoors and we just got a covering here, but okay, chat, we got the best outfit of the day right here for sure. The socks, shoes combo, fun shoes as well. The shoes matching. I love because this is another outfit that I would wear as well too, chat. But this is a color scheme style that I would definitely go for as well, which is like, you know, very sort of muted, simpler tones for the most of the. I mean, yeah, chat, literally kind of what we're doing right now with, you know, pink in the hat, and you know, I guess we're not in Met Gala fashion right now, chat. It's 117-76. So is it still third quarter? So, you know, has the Nuggets defense tightened up a little bit, or has it's still third quarter. So they've scored what? I can't even do math. They've scored a lot since they scored. I guess once you get to 91 and in that 100-point range, what's the next checkpoint? So the checkpoint from 91 to 170. Yeah, it's all a dominant performance at this point. But now the Thunder, you know, as much as we're like, oh, what did they give up in game one? Multiple lay the smackdown performances on the Grizzlies in the first round, now on the Nuggets in the second round as well too. But anyways, like the sort of pops of color on the bookends of that, you know, you got the shoes and the socks matching the bow tie as the dominant color pieces in the outfit. And, you know, a little gold here in the middle as well too. Some gold accessories as well, you know, the ring. Is there a watch situation kind of going on here? And I guess, you know, we don't really see if there's like a chain situation underneath, but the earrings as well too. I guess, you know, chat. It's just this. We've made it to the where we just wanted to see honestly what Doechii was wearing at the Met Gala. But Cynthia Erivo, chat. Awesome. What do we got? Givenchy Haute Couture. Is that the brand name? Is that Givenchy? Is that they're always been their full brand name? Once again, chat, catching up on more than just the looks for this year as well. Too, a little Prada right here. Bad Bunny also in Prada. This is the Prada section of the Met Gala. De Leon for the headwear. Is that good? I don't think that's a great accent there, chat. But we're not saying that disrespectfully. But hey, we're making an attempt. We're trying. We're trying here. A little bag, the little tote. I get more of a tote situation. I love the tie and the shortened suit. The tie suit color combos are nice here as well. What the OnlyFans representing this person? Only child? In an only child? I don't know what that is, chat, but another great look as well too. Kylie Jenner, Ferragamo. Nice. Great choice. Serena Williams, of course. Always stunning, chat. I was going to say something, but we get canceled right away. Barry Keoghan. I don't know if he's in the right era, chat, to be honest. I don't know if he got the theme totally correct here, but still very fashionable as well. To Lupita Nyong'o, chat. I mean, 39 seems a little bit too low. This is another incredible outfit. We got another use of the cape. Again, the same sort of color scheme that Wintour was going with in some ways, with the sort of lighter blue scheme, which I do like, chat. We haven't necessarily... again, a lot of sort of the blacks and whites, but even like with what Bad Bunny was having here, like this is not so far off from what Doechii had on, and not so far off from what, again, color scheme wise, from what like Sabrina Carpenter had on with the sort of espresso themed. So I guess everybody's just shouting out espresso, maybe, chat. It really was a hit, some gray. I guess it's Serena Williams going for that as well too, for sure. But great look there by Napita, Priyanka Chopra, chat, for sure. Mandy Kaling, absolutely. Now we're just scrolling through, chat. It is what it is. All great looks. It's just, the spot on the list. It just so happens to be you guys are more toward the end of the live stream, but Kendall Jenner, a couple of spots off of Kylie, chat, going more for the suit look as well too. But I think in true Kendall Jenner fashion, once again, 10 out of 10 type stuff. And this is actually a full kind of top, right? Yeah, because we got no button up situation here. So I don't know if anybody else, well, I guess everybody's rocking the suit as the top, but to make it more of a actual shirt-ish thing, and it's kind of we got the collar here, but again in the cutoff way that it was sort of the 2025 style as well too. Great stuff here, I guess. And even is this a pant or skirt situation? I guess even the skirt sort of feels like you've got pant vibes here with the is that like a sort of creasy thing down the middle? Once again, chat, we're back to bluffing in the snow. And number 4, chat. Number 4, Andre 3K. The algorithm is just going to be suggesting a ton of Andre 3K. Lana Del Rey, chat. I want to, we got to go here at some point, chat, but we'll just rapid fire. Walter Goggins with the kilt. Okay, chat. Walter Goggins is, what do we got here with all the highlights and stuff? It's honestly more of the highlights and stuff that is really all this is kind of crazy, chat. But I mean, I guess for a kilt and long coat combo, the pieces themselves are the tie with the kilt is kind of the little unbuttoned casual look is not bad as well too. I like kind of the kilt, but unbutton the suit as well too. Kind of hey, I'm in a kilt, but we're loose. We're throwing it back. Hey, yo, maybe that's the point of the kilt, chat. But Sierra, chat, Russ, he's currently grinding tape, getting ready for the Giant season, chat. I mean, the man's got to prep to win 6 games this year. Will Russ start enough to win 6 games? Or, when will Jackson Dart take over? So Sierra, her and Savannah, it's I guess LeBron's recovering. LeBron recovering, dangerous. I was just calling him dangerous, chat. Russell Wilson prepping, so there's like a no athlete husband's table maybe that the athlete's working table at the Met Gala. But Ashley Graham, of course, chat, amazing look as well too. Gabrielle Union, 10 out of 10. Patrick Schwarzenegger got a little yellow on here, chat, for sure. Our guy Patty Schwartz with the, what do we got, a little wallet? This is more of a bag situation. I think this goes bag. Or is this a tote, chat? Is a tote smaller and a bag more what Bad Bunny had? I don't know. DM us at RemingTonM. Let us know. But I don't know what do we think about the yellow with the color of the leather here? And the gold on the watch. The gloves, though, not a bad touch. And the suit, wait, whoa. I just closed out, chat. Whoops. My bad. Let me get this back up. We'll go Met Gala and then camera here. Shouldn't take but a second, chat. Launch it back up. Okay. We should be good to go. Mike's still connected? Yeah. Jody Turner-Smith, chat. I mean, this jacket is amazing, too. This was actually a look that somebody had showed us at work. They were like, this was their favorite look of the Met Gala. Or maybe this jacket was their, one piece. I guess the jacket and sort of, underneath combo sort of go together as well, too. But the jacket, I mean, the hat as well, too, stand out as well. Is this better than the Diana Ross hat, chat? I don't know, but who had the other coat that we were looking at? Tiana Taylor as well. So am I saying the right Tiana there, chat? I'm not trying to pull a Moose Johnson here, but yeah, this is another coat that could definitely compete for coat closets. We're not throwing all these coats in our closet, but you can't necessarily make these everyday wears either. And for going one sort of material style look for an outfit, this is, number 50, chat, this should be way up there. This is 10 out of 10 way to pull that off. And the hat as well too, just enough of a difference to blend in but be like, oh, there's a difference piece here as well too. Great stuff. Doja Cat, chat, just looking cute on the red carpet. Great stuff. Venus Williams, shout out. No respect, chat. Way off from Serena Williams, but still stunning, of course. So, Kim Kardashian, Chrome Hearts. Okay. Very sneaky with the brim. Sort of slip back here. I like the different shoulder game we got going here with the one sort of flaring out is fun. And also a chain on the side. Of course, extended on the bottom, chat. Kim Kardashian's going to crush it. Simone Biles crushing it as well, too. And I'm pretty sure, they're married, right, chat? Her and Jonathan Owens, or are they just... her partner, Jonathan Owens, I think was there as well, too. But apparently not in this picture. So, Simone Biles, obviously, either way, center stage with the looks. But, you think at least you'd get him in here, chat. And, you can at least say, okay, the picture's about Simone Biles, but, Jonathan Owens, shout out. So I get maybe he wasn't there. Or maybe he was at, after party. I don't know if he got at the... I guess, what is the Met Gala? Is that a dumb question, chat? Like, what do you do at the Met Gala? I guess I guess it's a gala, so you just do gala stuff. I guess not like I've been thinking it's not like an award show, but I guess for some reason I was thinking the Met Gala. It is a gala, but that's not just like a random title that they put because it's a Met. I guess what's the Met? The Met's an organization, right? It's a Met. It's not. That's not a thing. But the Met's like an organization. Lisa, chat, in Louis Vuitton. Megan Thee Stallion. Chat, where's Angel Reese at? Angel Reese got to be around here. We saw a story. Who was hanging out? That's another dinner table we could have been at, chat. Megan Thee Stallion, Angel Reese, and maybe it was Doechii. Ooh, chat. If only our dreams could come true like that. But Michael Kors. Ooh, a Michael Kors appearance. This is, chat, this is stunning. This coat right here. The dress itself is a winner, but to throw the coat on top of it like that, where the coat can still be a scent. Like, obviously this is a very, chat, I don't know why I'm cutting off her face like that on the scroll, but obviously this is this could be like a very plush, like, I mean, this material of the coat that could be like a functional coat that, Chad, covers you up. But for the coat to still be a center stage piece, but for it to let, obviously, the dress and let everything else do that, Chad. Great stuff. Shakira, Jeremy. I feel like, Chad, this is about as much fashion breakdown as the Remington pod has ever done. We're having a good time here. It's like, hey, I mean, the Nuggets are getting just absolutely stomped in the background, so no need to pay attention to that for right now. Sha'Carri Richardson, where's I mean, when we get to the 5th round of names, will we get to Shedeur Sanders? I don't know if that'll happen or not. Alicia Keys, chat. Awesome outfit. This is a swing, but out of the park, chat. Out of the park stuff from one of the Remington pod favorites. Pinstripes with the clashing pinstripes with the suit, and then with the weave together sort of, again, like, I don't know what you call this, because now we're outside of cape and coat situation, but the weave between the arms sort of accessory extra piece, I don't know what that's called, chat, but to get contrasting pinstripes to work, I mean, it's basically Alicia Keys and the Pacers that have been able to get that off. Amy Lou Wood, there we go. Kiki Palmer, where's SZA, chat? I guess on tour, probably not going to be at the Met Gala, but you would assume as one of the bigger movies as well, too, one of the more acclaimed movies that has dropped this year, that they would be stars front and center. I mean, for SZA just being an amazing music figure, and for Kendrick as well. I mean, Kendrick is, and those are both fashion-forward people. So, again, not every just star is going to be at the Met. There's obviously a fashion thingy that you have to get to be in the mix for. Chapel Rowan, of course. Excuse me, chat. I was a part of a Met Gala conversation, and they were debating the Chapel Rowan outfit, because whether or not it was a good outfit, but they were saying like how much of it, because Chapel Rowan is obviously like we're saying, such a fashion forward person that this just feels like Chapel Rowan just showed up to the Met Gala, and that's like Chapel Rowan's obviously a 10 out of 10 for the fashion, so it's like fashion. Yeah, I guess that is just proves that Chapel Rowan is a 10 out of 10 of the fashion, right? Because she's just walking around like she's always at the Met Gala, I guess. But yeah, always crushing the looks as well too there. So Zuri Hall, stunning stuff, chat, for sure. Sophia Richie, looking great. Okay, we're getting there, chat. Jeff Goldblum. Oh, chat. I just want the coat because it's the Goldblum piece. The Air Goldblum cape. Let's go, chat. Great. I mean, the little Goldblum shades as well. Love to see it. Adrian Brody. Did he win at the Oscars, chat? Who won at the Oscars? He might have. Who knows? Great stuff, chat. Ooh, a little red shoe combo here. I like it. I like the chain as well, too. That's a fun chain. For sure. Coco Jones. Great design and texture on the outfit here. And we got a nice hair design here as well, too, chat. Nice hairstyle as well. Love to see it. Damson Idris was also another guy in the Met Gala conversation that was brought up as well with his outfit. I was like, wait a second, is this some F1 driver? But I think the helmet was just a great fashion choice. The bejeweled helmet, little pocket chain situation here. Great, just chain in general. I like the no buttons on the suit as well too. It's very sleek. I guess I don't know if we have got buttons on this side of the jacket, but because we've got looks like some areas for the buttons to go here, chat. But and they could just be hidden under the panel here for the vest. But either way, I like the sleekness of not having those. At least for them not to get into the picture is good as well too. And he's got the little kind of leaning into a bell-bottomy type situation as well too. But once again, just great. Just trying to keep up, chat. Just trying to know what to shop for next time we're out. BB Rexa, always amazing. Brianna Stewart, chat, the WNBA in the house. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Brianna Stewart. Amazing stuff. Deborah Roberts. Okay, chat. We'll go through it. We'll just run through the last half here. Because I just want to see the looks. So, oh, Tyler Perry. Shout out, chat. Chance. Tory Burch. Making a Dapper Dan, chat. Dapper Dan looking dapper. Of course. The most dapper man on the red carpet, as you would expect. Tessa Thompson. Chat. This is a great outfit. It is definitely unique, but I like it. I'm in, chat. I'm in. Pusha T. What do we got? Louis Vuitton and Tiffany. And again, in the sort of espresso colorway. So I guess we didn't read all the themes and colorway stuff. So maybe this was one of the options. But looking great. Savannah James. Here we go, chat. NBA making an appearance. Is this the first NBA appearance? I don't think we had an NBA player so far. So the first representative of the NBA, chat. Savannah James. Shout out. Vera Wang. I feel like Vera Wang's got you feel like of all the people that would have the stylist team on lockdown, it'd be Vera Wang. But Suki Waterhouse, chat. Okay, wait, is this Alton Mason, chat? In Boss. I feel like this is some Westbrook inspired designs here. We got little cowboy boots. This feels like he went to his stylist and said, "Give me a Westbrook Lil Nas X combo," and the stylist was like, "Okay, I know exactly what you're thinking." And cowboy boots with a open top shirt. I mean, I think that might just be Westbrook. I think Westbrook's been known to literally wear that outfit before, those two pieces together. But he did have, and I don't know if it was a suit styled shirt, but he did have. I'm thinking of that one shirt that was like had the big open hole in the middle that was like pecs out for Westbrook in the tunnel. That I remember, inside the NBA was making fun. It, of course, made the rounds for a second there, and then Kuzma stepped in with a couple of his outfits and took over the meme space. But Laura Harrier, chat, of at least for us Spider-Man fame, making an appearance. But FK Twigs, chat, shout out for sure. Shabuzi winning the hat game, and we've got chains all the way up and down the torso here, chat, is a bold statement. But honestly, I guess I don't know what other, if this is all gold chains, who knows, chat, but this is a good color in a good good material as well too. I don't know what we're working with here, but I like the contrast of this with the black for what he's going for. If you're gonna go all beads, I guess the Mardi Gras, chat. If you're gonna go with the Mardi Gras at the Met Gala, this is the color scheme, I think, to work. And the fact that we've got like a slight texture here, as well as slight pattern with the suit, and the same colors sort of highlighted out in the jewelry as well. Little suit tails for our guy Shabuzi. Great look. What do we got here? Robert 1. Oh, David Yurman. Back chat. The David Yurman beads. The David Yurman Mardi Gras. Love to see it. Monica Barbaro in Dior and whatever that one brand was, chat. Nicole Scherzinger, chat. Scherzinger. Looking great. Angela Bassett. Oh, chat. Commanding the absolute attention of everybody with this look, chat. And just, her presence in general. The look as strong as her presence. This is why these stylists are the greatest, chat, because you just are like, okay. They're able to communicate these type of things in clothes. This is why the best of the best are what they are, chat. People communicate this type of stuff in fashion is amazing. The cane, the walking, the little baggie here, chat, and the suit being worked in. I thought that was two separate pieces, but no, one piece. Great stuff, chat. Great stuff. Cardi B and the Burberry. Cardi B and Burberry. We went 100 names before we finally got another rhyming one. Coleman Domingo to Cardi B. But we are back, chat. Tyla, always another stunning appearances on the red carpet. And again, simple look, but through the textures and the just the you don't want to say excess, but the overall, just the pieces that they're using here, able to make it a standout piece. Love to see it. Is it Rose or just, is it Rose? I don't know exactly how you've seen it, but, or how you say it, but again, I've seen the name a bunch. So Saint Laurent, chat. Saint Laurent pulling up. Jenna Ortega, of course, with the disco ball. Love to see it. Looking great. Quintana Brunson, chat. Another A-plus outfit. This is another tier. Do we need to do a first-team All-Met Gala? I can scroll back through the other 125 and see what we got. Natasha Lyonne. Anyways, Quintana Brunson is right on the top of the list, chat. Alex Consini. Okay, chat. Okay. Precious Lee. For sure, for sure. Ooh, here we go. Some animal design, some leopard. I don't think we've had any animal print in the Met Gala. So I don't know if that's, just where people are at in 2025. But hey, chat, I don't know if this is, let Precious Lee wear a little leopard print on the Met Gala red carpet. I like it on the cape and sort of the bodysuit bejeweled look here with the one sort of look into the shoe. Just the seamless look from top to bottom is great with the leopard print cape accessory there. Great stuff. Another, I guess, first team all NBA, first team all Met Gala. Another contestant. I guess we don't have to have just 5 spots, do we? We have 27 spots on first team all Met Gala. Jaden Smith. Okay, no big, castle on his hat this time. Just save that for Andre 3K to wear the big pieces. Where's Andre 3K at, chat? Maybe he's the headliner, the grand finale look, Andre 3K. But capes, once again, a big theme, I guess. So we got to get a cape, chat. We got to get a cape. Oh, Nick Jonas, Priyanka Chopra making a double appearance tonight, chat. The first one, shout out. Nick Jonas doesn't have his suit with him, but we got the little, I feel like some nautical sort of Scarfish vibes here. I like the little pendant stuff going on the sash here. But Jalen Hurts, NFL in the house, chat. So there are some athletes, of course, in attendance. Great little, what do you call this kind of hat here, chat? Is that a fedora? Am I crazy? And then what do we got? Just something subtle bejeweling here on the top of the suit. The chain on the shirt combo is great. The watch stands out perfectly. Shiny shoes. Oh, Jalen Hurts. Sharp, chat. Always just, if you had, again, the stylist, if it was like Jalen Hurts is just like, I probably just want to look sharp going into the Met Gala. And they're like, perfect. We gotcha. That's how I would, as a football player, as a person, you're just, very sharp, chat. Very sharp, very bright, very locked in, and very professional. This is a very, very clean, put together lurk bar guy, Jalen Hurts. But Jay Balvin with the pink fit, looking great, chat. Ivy Getty with some layers here on the dress. Another wallet situation as well. Dwayne Wade in Prada and Tiffany. That's a combo. I guess I don't know, chat. DM us at Rem and Sam. What are your brands for the Met Gala? Okay, chat. We got the top 10 or the last 10, however you want to look at here. Miranda Kerr. Again, this piece that we don't know the name of, but this crisscross front piece. So you've got the suit like reverse engineered. So almost like the quote unquote pants, dress, bottoms portion of the outfit. But it's like the top part of the suit because these are like the pocket hanky parts and then, or like the vest almost. And then the vest buttons here. But crisscrossed on the legs. It's cool, chat. I'm a fan of that one. That's another subtle first team. Charlie XCS, chat. They're probably literally bumping Brat on the red carpet here. So, makes sense that she's got to be a headliner look here. Saving the best for the last. Absolutely. Anna Swayi, chat. Dior. Oh, whoa. Looking great. Regina King. Oh, chat. We got a little image here. Regina King bringing some artwork to the red carpet. Lovely. Absolutely. Perfect. The design woven throughout, chat. The nice sort of swoosh up piece here. And then, chat, the hairdo is fantastic. 10 out of 10. But all of this put together, stunning. Regina King, as always. Sadie Sink, chat. Hey, yo. Hello. Say, of all the fans, we want us to send us a DM. Hey, Sadie Sink. Slide into the DMs at the Rem Sam Pod. Lana Del Rey. Hey, once again, another double appearance. Lana Del Rey, is this a different look? I guess we scrolled past that first look. Even though it was great. All the looks have been great. Taraji P. Henson, another walking stick. So maybe we have first teams, or just like different teams. Like, this is the walking stick team. This is the all hat team, the all cape team, the all hairdo team. Taraji P. Henson might be the first double team appearance. The only person on first team all walking stick and first team all hairdo. Because we got the blonde worked in here as well too. Not even highlights, but like, you know, a blonde hair piece. I'm not saying that that's a piece, but you know what I'm saying, like a blonde section, I guess, is the better way to phrase it. I got a blonde section with the dark rest of the dark hair offsetting it, and then of course, like we're saying, the rest of the suit look. I know, like, you know, just the suit, chat. Maybe that helps with the stunning factor as well too, at least with the speechless factor. Jordan Roth with the see-through hat. Okay, chat, getting creative. Is this like a top hat inside of a top hat? Is that top hat inception? Okay, chat, what do we got? A Christopher Nolan fan here? I don't know, maybe Leo DiCaprio and Cillian Murphy are in there somewhere as well too. Do we have a chain thing going on like we do with Shabuzi, or I think this is just sort of a, maybe that's the design of the top portion here, I think. But the same sort of look, you know, breakup on top as well. The Andre 3K album is just perfect in the background here, chat. I mean, I guess, do we have to check and make sure that YouTube hasn't once again given us a strike? But I think we're doing okay, because it's like, you know, kind of in and out of my own consciousness. So I feel like, are the YouTube bots like just slowly being like, oh, wait a second, is the Andre 3K album still on? They're just, even the YouTube bots want the Andre 3K album to be listened to, chat. Okay, yeah, look at this. Andre 3K. I don't know if that's disrespectful that the YouTube bots aren't watching the Andre 3K album, but either way, it's great that they're letting us go. Rajon Jean Page, chat, wearing some red, the red fit, the red shoes. The red shoes are great, chat. I mean, the overcoat as well too, little jewelry piece here in the middle. Ooh, Kayla McLaughlin, chat. Grown up, chat. Look at this. Hat, gloves, another first team all Kane, AO, chat, but first team all walking stick as well too. Is that a pause? But you know, a lot of jewelry situation here. I like the, you know, figure out what's going on with all these pieces. We got a little key, got a little, I don't know if there's a seashell in here, chat, or something, but a collection of stuff. Oh, Kate Renata, chat. Kate Renata, a sneaky good look. Is this part of his look? But no, I think that's just somebody behind him there. So fluffy collar for Kate Renata. I see what you did there. Oh, so Andre 3K doesn't even make the 125? Okay. But there you go. I guess that's some of the Met Gala looks. So whatever, chat. 2025 Met Gala. So there you have it. The Rem and Sam Pod, live from a Wednesday night. We made it through this one, hopefully okay. Subscribe here on the YouTube for more. You can hit us up on the podcast feeds as well. Denver up by almost 50 with 2 minutes left, 146 to 99. Make it 147 to 99. So, and yeah, DM us at Rem and Sam Pod with any of the, you know, questions, messages, any other stuff like that as well too, chat. Wait, where'd the Spotify go? That's right. We closed out of the Spotify earlier. So yeah, there we go. Once again, another successful Rem and Sam Pod. Thank you guys for tuning in. Give the Andre 3K album a listen, chat. I think you guys will like it. If, you know, the little pieces that you heard in the background you didn't like as well too, I'm having a good time. So, hey, we might fall asleep to it right now. But there we go, chat. Another night in the books. So we'll see you next time. Friday night, be here, and we'll be back.